Hello! That was Midnight by Silent Partner. I am Notorious BLT. We're going to be playing some In Other Waters tonight. Just got to get the game all started up. It'll be good. There it goes. Alright, let's see here. That's got to go. That's got to go. Hello! Alright. I am interested to see what the end of this game is going to be like. Because so far... I'm sorry. Did that say 39%? We've only made it 39% of the way through the game? Or is that like we've looked at 39% of the critters that we can look at? Okay. Did we already look at all these things? Yes. Okay. Okay, there's no new taxonomy for us. Alright, well, we already know about the crew terminal, right? Yeah, we've already looked at the crew terminal, okay. So we want to look at the dive map. Not entirely sure what our next thing is. I'm also gonna have to remember all the controls again, because, like, I totally forget. Let's see. Signal priority. Another one of Manet's improvised ROVs stopped transmitting somewhere here after sending back some strange geological readings. Okay. So let's go to our sample store. This guy is... Okay, that's not actually all that great. No. God damn it. Okay. Take that. We want something else that's going to do air, I think. Maybe. I don't remember if we need air super bad. Okay, we'll take one of these. I think we were really looking for more fuel, though. So you were good for what? No. Were you good on fuel? No. One of you... Okay, you were good on fuel. Alright, so we'll take one of you as well. Alright. So we're going to go to the dive map. Wait, there's another one? Oh, shit. What is this one? Data sent back by Manet's ROVs shows one logged its last known position out here before going dark. Okay. Okay, everything looks like it is good, so I just wanted to make sure that we weren't super hosed on stuff. Was it... How do we do the ping? B, right. Okay, debris trail. Glinting debris from the disabled ROV traces back into the sand. And I do Y? Yeah. It's going to take me a little bit to like, re-familiarize myself. Unmistakably basalt formed in some volcanic trench eons ago. This outcrop is outlined by the faint light of Gliese 667cc's suns. Alrighty. And then... Y? Yeah, Y. Always Y. So I guess we have the choice of going left... Yep, left or right. Declining slope. The pale floor descends rapidly away from the ridge in this direction towards the field of shadowy outcrops. Or, eastern plain. East of the ridge, a small rise opens into a flat plain of dimpled silt. Not stilt. Okay, right. That's the sample thingy and other various bits and pieces. Silt plain. Featureless expanse, lit flatly by the suit's lamps. Bubbling sands. An occasional silver bubble breaks the surface of the flat stilt, carrying a cloudy trail of sediment behind it. Sediment trails. Repeated trails of unknown creatures mark the sand, wandering back and forth across the rippled surface. Don't know how I feel about that. Cold water seeps. Bubbles of methane trickle out from beneath the silt, creating silvery columns wreathed in sand. Pockmarks. Ahead, the seeps have created small craters in the seabed, where brine is gathering in clouded pools. The fuck is this shit? Brine pools. A shimmering landscape of ghostly pools stretches out in the lamps. The dense brine sitting in the crater, unlike undersea ponds. Jesus, like undersea ponds. Man, I think I never spoke English before. Good lord. Brine pools. The methane seeps here must be forming them. The pools themselves will be toxic and also anoxic. Let's navigate carefully. They're beautiful, fog-skinned puddles sunk into the seabed, but they are dangerous. Okay, the seeps imprint the geological patterns of the underlying rock into the silt, forming both deep pools and untouched rises. Okay, well, that's eating into our stuff. Sandy rise. Between the pockmarks of the pools, the silt plain carries the marks of the local creatures, patterns of activity. We are 1,500 meters deep. That is a really long fucking way, dude. Hey, Watchy, what's up, dude? Well, I mean, yeah. What do you think of Mindhunter? You like it? It's based on, well, not based on true events, but at least the two detectives are actually based on real people, and all the killers are supposed to be like representations of real people that existed in the United States. Let's see. A complex pattern of pools fills the seabed, shimmering with toxic chemistry. I forget the names of the detectives. What the fuck? Bristling fronds, creature. These feathery fronds are glowing along the... Okay, these swaying fronds. Are they a colony or a single creature? I'll start recording my observations. Let's see. Are growing along the edge of the brine, waving their matted, leaf-like limbs through the water. Frond pools. The waving shapes of complex fronds caress the surface of the pools, sweeping the brine into wispy shapes. What is that? Crab-like creature. This crab-like creature is moving slowly across the seafloor with a large, translucent crest. So these crawling creatures seem to keep themselves. Let's keep track of where we find them. Protruding from its back. Okay. Tell me more about this crab, please. Crab-like creature. On closer inspection, the large translucent crest appears to be a gas-filled organ or bubble of some kind, rising from a slit? Yeah, a slit in the shell. Is my headset going? Glistening bubble, sample candidate. A mucus bubble sits on the silt, shed from the back of the bubble-skinned creatures, which are trekking the perimeter of the pools. Dude, this music is crazy. Bristling fronds. Each of the many limbs of these branching creatures is carefully dipped into the brine pools, one by one before pulling back. Jesus. Occasionally, this creature will sweep its limbs back into the hairy mass of its body before thrusting them out again. What is it doing? Frond patterns. While some pools transition into bare sand, others are choked with fronds. Oh, dude, it's a hell of a fascinating show for sure. Okay, I want to go here and just do a ping. Did I scan you? I think so. Yes. Okay, let's not stay near the crabs, because they might get mad. Wait, no. Fuck. That's not what I wanted. Alright. Have a good night, Waji. Alright, what is this? Mucus bubble. Multi-chambered mucus bubble found on the ocean floors. Okay, so that's going to be... air? Yeah, it's going to be air. Okay, and there's nothing else to sample. The thick hairs of each frond seem to be mottled with a reddish substance. Does it grow here, amongst the hairs? Methane seep. Among the pools, a pillar of shining bubbles rises up towards the surface. No, it's not. Okay, well, you know. Microbial mats. Sample candidate. Bright orange carpets of microbial growth gathered beneath the waving fronds stretch away from the pool. We could sample them here. Okay, I'm going to go here so we can sample. What is this? Brine mat. An orange bacterial mat sampled from beside a brine pool. Alright, so that's going to give us fuel. Okay. So ping. Wait, there was something else with this, though. When a limb is removed from the brine, the red substance matted into the hair seems to glow brighter, shifting in clout. Or, not clout. In color. Oh my god. Okay, British color. Okay. From this slight elevation, the gleaming surface of a huge brine lake can be seen out in the out to the east. Frond colonies. The dipping motion of the fronds as they filter the brine creates a hypnotic sense of motion along the edge of the lake. Okay, let's go here first so we don't touch the goop. Silt bank. A bank which skirts along the edge of a large shadowed pool. Crab-like creature. These wandering creatures noisy chew away at the rock and silt of the ocean floor, filtering it for nutrients, perhaps. Maybe it's supposed to be noisily. It seems that the substance caked onto into these creatures' hair is reacting to the brine somehow. Perhaps it is helping them feed? Glistening bubble. A bubble shed from the back of a creature sits at the edge of the lake. This is a sample candidate. Alright, so brine curling around its base. It's probably going to cause a little bit of... Yeah, it's going to eat away at our air. I see you. Come back here. I saw you floating around. Glowing shape. A faint pulsating glow, like lightning in a storm, can be seen beneath the cloudy brine. Brine eaters. Branching feathery fronds, which... Okay, so now she's going to talk. I'll log these creatures as brine eaters. You can take a look at my observations back at base. Feathery fronds which grow alongside brine pools, carefully dipping their matted and stained limbs in and out of the brine. There you are, little fucker. Shit. Brine shore. Here the complex of pools melts into the lake, which shines with a toxic intensity. Can anything live out here? Out there? Okay, this is going to be a quick one. Okay, Get out. Okay, so what do we get? What is this? Brine shell. A glowing shell found among the brine stained with chemicals. I guess we'll go this way. Hey, Tealport, what's up, dude? The water is cold and extremely deep. Crab-like creature. Oh, what might be hiding within its toxic fog? Do you think life might survive out there? Yes. It's true that this planet has shifted my ideas about what is survivable. Perhaps there is something out there, waiting to be discovered. See, different individuals of this species seem to have varying sizes of bubbles on their backs. Are they carrying oxygen in there? Pool network. Brine pools mark the plain on all sides, densely packed around the vast lake. Deep crater. This hole cuts deep into the bedrock of the plain. Could this be because... could this be caused by a seep? It looks more like an impact crater. So, what are you up to this evening, man? I saw you were playing Dark Souls 3 earlier. Were you doing your Wallace build? Brine waves. Something out in the dark is sending slow waves to this burning beach. What could live out there? None of these were sample candidates, huh? All of this terrifies me that I'm going through all this shit. Oh, what is that? Scan it. It's Crabman. Stilt-legged stone. What? Creature. Observation. How can these creatures survive out here among the brine? I'll start keeping notes on their behavior. This tall crab-like creature towers above the brine pool. An unusual assortment of rocks, shells, and bones adorn its back. How much strength did you need? And did you also have to beef up your, is it vigor? I think no. It would be vit, right? Because I think, if I'm right, Dark Souls 3 vitality is your equip load? Is that right? I can't recall which stat is which. Brine Lake. The water is a blinding milky white flow in the headlamps. Burning Beach. The edge of the lake is stained with brightly colored bacterial mats, which recede beneath the cloudy, toxic mass of the brine itself. Alright, none of those are sample candidates. This was also not a sample candidate. This is gonna hurt, isn't it? Fuck, that is very bad. I swear I can hear the brine eating away. Yep. I'm seeing this creature take dead remains from the brine pool and decorate itself with them. Trophies of shell and bone. Or of shell and bone. God, we're getting fucked here. The ocean floor rises back out of the pale brine into the series of rounded pools. Okay, go, go, go. I don't like that. Hey, Nick, what's up, man? Gotcha. Man, that's crazy. I don't know why it looks like a chemistry class, but it's biology now. Xenobiology. A small, smooth carapace sits between the pools, half sunk in sand. Could this island be a refuge for juvenile creatures? And that's a sample candidate as well, so let's go do it. Young carapace doesn't give us anything. Stony carapace shed by a creature near the brine pool. Does this give us O2? A little bit. Gives us a little bit of everything, really. This one was fuel. This one was O2. So let's dump this into the O2 tank. I am nervous. Glistening bubble, sample candidate. Creature has shed its bubble crest out on this desolated island. The carrier is nowhere to be seen, perhaps lost in the brine. Would you mind staying the hell away from me, Crab? Actually, what did this one say? This meager patch of high ground provides a dreamlike respite from the milky waters. Strange creatures crawl across the lake. All this makes me extraordinarily nervous. And once again, the music is reminding me ever so slightly of Hyperlight Drifter. Wait, that's another Mikos bubble. Okay, so we've got two of them now. Which we can dump into the O2 tank if we need. Alright. I don't like that he's going back off into the brine. In this small pool at the lake's edge, a pale blue pulse is flashing. I swear I see lights blinking in response out above the brine lake. What about this one? Brine Inlet feature. The sand between the pools runs down into the lake. Is this island being slowly swallowed, or is that just my paranoia? Yes, I think it's very yes to both. Is that it? What did I get? It's one of these guys? What does it do? Okay, that's fuel. Ping. Okay, immediately go back. No, I don't want to go out there. Toxic waters. Is there anything out here? I see tall shapes in the dark. Well, I mean, we got to do it, so. Pale beacons flicker across the lake. What are those? Probably some giant monster that's going to eat our faces. Silt-like stone. Let's see. Blue smears glow faintly in the moraines piled on these striders' backs. Are these bioluminescent creatures a chemical or phenomena? Sharp shapes of remains jut out from the pale brine, like mountain peaks below clouds. Okay, we need to dump something into our O2 tank. Is that it? Is that this guy? Yes. Dump it in. Okay. Please give me another point to go to. The edges of the lake are like a miniature landscape of craters and depressions. That's nice. Let's get the fuck out of this, though. Before the shit kills us. We're not losing stuff anymore, thank God. Pale rise. This small bank of silt is slowly slipping away beneath the cloudy surface of the brine pools. Okay, we are taking some damage from going over the pool, but that's okay. Oh my God, there's so many spots. A stained slab of basalt juts out of the brine pools, providing a tiny safe zone from the toxic liquid. Hemmed in by toxic pools, this small rise looks out across a landscape of deep craters and unrelenting darkness. Sounds like Dark Souls. This lake is bigger than any seep I've seen on Earth. The volume of methane trapped in the bedrock must be impossibly vast. A thin strip of sand pushes out into the lake, surrounded by toxic pools. The haze lifting from the lake and the pools all around make visibility very poor. Vague shapes flit in and out of the columns of the bubbles. Okay, I'm going to head to this one first, because why not? Okay, I see you. We've already identified you, though, yeah. A mucus bubble shed from the back of a creature sits on top of a small pile of silt, as if it were an egg. And it is sampleable, so we will do so. So you have to tonight, Nick. I'm going to dump this in the fuel tank, or in the O2 tank. Did I already look at this guy? Young Carapace. Right, that thing is not worth anything. This small plane is strangely clear of creatures' tracks. They must not cross into this northern zone. Crater pattern. A radial pattern of depressions in the rock suggests debris expanding outward from an impact point. Pool network. The pools seem to cover a huge part of the seabed, radiating out from the lake in ornate patterns. Hey, no problem, dude. What's Al doing, Kerbal? The RV must have been attracted by some signal among the pools, but it became another victim of the corrosive brine. Okay, I'm just gonna head over here really quick and see what else we can find. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, if anybody was gonna do it in my group of friends, it's definitely Al. He's the one that would play it correctly. Well, correctly. He would play it in a smart manner, whereas I would just kind of like orcally throw things on top of themselves, and then, you know, yeah. All of my rockets would just look like piles of garbage that somehow move. Some of these more northern pools are emptying of brine, leaving only shallow layers at their base. I mean, I've tried to make rockets that actually do things, but it doesn't really work out, usually. The pools seem to continue to the north, but why do they stretch so far away from the main body of the lake? Empty of brine, this crater was clearly caused by a large impact, showing radial cracks in the rock, spreading from a single point. Yeah, basically they end up being unintentional missiles. What the fuck is all that? North Passage. This silt bank allows passage between the two parallel strips of craters leading north. Oops. Isolated oasis, sample candidate. Despite the toxic brine on all sides, this glowing oasis clings to its rock, even as it is melted away. The sounds really fucking freak me the hell out, dude. It's like weird fungoid, I don't know, shrimp whales? I have no idea. Deep pollen. Whenever you name something deep anything, it immediately makes me think of Lovecraft and Cthulhu. Large floating particles produced by deep sea plants. What does this one do? I don't remember. That one's fuel. I might as well dump this in here. I can spare this in there. Okay. Bright fan. Like the fans found in the bloom, these creatures are flat. These fans seem to play a central role in the ecosystem here. I'm going to start recording data. You do that. Fan-shaped filter feeders. However, these variants glow with a cold fire. Glowing fan. Precariously seated among the pools, this fan shows signs of decay, its amber waves of light stuttering and flickering unevenly. Pale petals. Creature. Trefoil? What are these petal-shaped creatures? They only grow around the glowing fans. Let's start logging data. Trefoil petals, which gather around the glowing fans of the deep. They angle themselves towards the light like expectant children. I'm never going to get used to that. Fan sheath. The filtering sheath of a glowing fan studded with pollen. Okay, so there's nowhere else to go here, so let's head back. I want to say this way was possibly towards the drone. One of Manet's ROV. It looks like this one was disabled by the brine. The supplies Manet equipped it with are still intact, though. We can resupply. Open the terminal and let's see what this little guy found here. Terminal available. What are we talking about? Oh. Okay. Oh wow, you found something big, didn't you, little guy? Looks like... Is that a wreck? Incredible, the debris field stretches all the way northwest from here. It must have been large, a freighter or a research vessel. We have to go see this thing. Come on, we can head back to base after that. If you say so. Debris field. Whatever caused the string of impact craters, parts of it lie all around. Huge jointed forms of corroded metal. Here's the edge of the debris trail. Something sank here, and by the spread of debris, exploded. It's been here for years, decades. The metal is corroded to little more than a frame. That means Manet wasn't the first person to come here. Something big happened here. Something no one was meant to find. Did we run into, like, government aliens or something? Corroded debris. This huge piece of debris has been distorted. Distorted? Yeah, distorted by the and twisted by the brine, leaving it totally unrecognizable. Metal lumps. Bulbous, rust-red lumps are scattered across the pale sand like seeds thrown in to the wind. Twisted frame object. The spars of the frame stick out of the sand like fractured ribs, fronds and other growths closing the gaps between them. Hello? Please? Thank you. Fractured plates. The broad, flat plates of the wreck sit at right angles to each other, forming a complex of angular walls. Don't touch that. Good job. Okay, so this thing is actually freaking humongous. Holy shit. Silt strip. A curved strip forms a narrow walkway between the pools beside the wreck. Hull entry. A split in what must have once been the vessel's hull allows passage into the overgrown interior. We're going to hopefully go that way later. Melted corridor. The brine has left everything but the vaguest shape of the vessel impossible to define. We're entering the main body of the wreck now. It's little more than a husk. It is impossible to tell anything from the rusted plates. Whose ship was this? The local ecosystem looks to have been scraping away at this thing for decades. Nothing much left for us. Ovoid creature. These ovoid creatures sit... These pale pulsing creatures seem so passive. I'm going to start taking notes on them. These ovoid creatures sit pulsing on the edge of the deep oasis. They're glassy and soft, like partially boiled shellless eggs. That's really weird. Overgrown bay. This bay, perhaps once a cargo hold, is being scraped away by by frond-like creatures, releasing flakes of orange rust into the water. Okay, you must just be something... Okay, that's Brine Eater. Sealed locker. Half buried in sand, the industrial seals on the equipment locker have held. It must have been protected from the crash within this bay. Avoid creature. When close to these creatures, you can feel the pull of their strong filtering action, as they absorb water and push it through their bodies. Look, a still sealed dive suit locker. Let's see if we can get it open. Breached plates. The plates of the wreck. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I can lever. Yes, it's open. But there's not a lot here. Wait, this cutting torch looks clean enough with a little work. This could be salvaged. Is this Bikel tech? Hard to tell. Looks compatible with the suit, though. I'll stow it and see what I can do with it when we get back to the base. Plates of the wreck buckle and bend outward here, bent away by some huge interior force. Impact craters. The craters clustered around the vessel suggest an explosive force of some considerable magnitude. These creatures seem to produce small branching buds, in the same way that a hydra grows a clone of itself in order to reproduce. If you've never seen real-world hydras, they're really cool. They're little microscopic critters. Melted debris. Most of the wreck must have already been lost to the brine. Only this section remains, precariously settled on a silt bank. At this creature's interior sits a sphere surrounded by a reflective membrane bathed in light from the transparent sections on its body. Looks like we got a crab over there. Flooded craters. Could this set of seeps have been created by the wreck's impact? Perhaps it breached the bedrock, protecting the methane below. Wreck garden. Whatever its origin, the wreck here has become a sanctuary for the ocean's life. There is beauty to its reclamation. Crab-like creature. Each one of these shelled creatures seems to have its own territorial loop, an area of seafloor it systematically searches through. Okay, let's go over here and just see what else we can find. Please don't be in the... Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it's in the brine. Discarded shell. Sample candidate. Crested shell sits on the edge of the brine pool. Its former inhabitant nowhere to be seen. We could sample it here. Please don't be anything else out there. Thank God. Okay. Wait. Oh, I'm actually fine where we are. Huh. Oh. I have heard of Kingsfield, yes. Long, long ago. I believe it's like a precursor to Demon Souls or something like that. Why, is there something going on with Kingsfield? None of this adds up. If there's a wreck here, then there were people. And if there were people, well, why doesn't everyone know about this place, about its incredible life? We spent centuries looking for life outside of Earth and found nothing. I've seen so many dead planets, so many barren worlds. I've certified each of them as clear of life, just so an exoplanet extraction core can pick them clean for maximum profit. Strip mine them for the resources our ever-expanding species needs. This place is impossible. 1 in a million, and yet it is already marked by our greedy fingerprints. Who brought this ship here? This has to be the history Monet wanted to uncover. Let's head back to base. There's more to find, I'm sure of it. Not yet. Not yet. Let's see. In 2000, From Software launched a game-making program for games like that called Sword of Moonlight, which, when buying its license, gives the buyer an unfettered license for unlimited use of Kingsfield's intellectual property, meaning you could sell and distribute the game royalty-free and independently. Okay. So is somebody doing that right now? North of here, the debris field fades away as the ocean floor slopes towards the abyss plain. Nothing, huh? I am sure that there's more to do, because there were other places that we haven't explored yet. So we're just going to book it back. Alright, I suppose we could go on another dive if we really wanted to. Oh! That's kind of cool. So wait, is that on computer or is it PlayStation? God damn it. I guess staying up late and getting up early this morning might have been a little bit of a mistake. Did I already go to this? Please don't... Oh, you're sapping my bits, dude. Wreck Oasis. A warm glow lights the cracked and corroded skin of the twisted plates in sharp relief. And we'll scan that crab when we get there. Ah, okay, so it probably needs like an emulator or something. Holy fuck. Lung crest, new species logged. A shelled crab-like creature which scavenges the ocean floor in search of nutrients. I like to call these lung crests. Those bubbles they carry on their backs are so cumbersome. It carries a mucus-lined bubble on its back. Gross. Oh, gotcha, okay. Fronds crowd this piece of debris. Some eaten away by the local grazers. Broken limbs lie all around. We could sample one of the smaller pieces. Okay. Each of the wide petals has patterns of stomata and stamen across its surface. And from these, some kind of pollen is drifting out in clumps. Another sample candidate. Fan has tucked itself into the side of a vast corroded plate, forming an oasis in the shadow of the wreck. No, I want to scan that. Bright fan, significantly taller than the Bloom's fans. These creatures seem to favor the rocky substrate of the ocean floor's basalt pillars. Okay, so we need to sample this, and we got the other one to sample as well. I don't have any duplicates, huh? Alright, let's dump this guy. Nope. Dump this guy into here. Okay. Fuck. Well, dude, let me know how it is. Piece of hairy branch broken off of a creature. Okay, we don't need this. I'm just going to dump it into the fuel tank. Alright, there is no other way to go, so we gotta go this way. We definitely want to sample this, whatever it is. Ah, okay. Damn. That's kind of cool that they actually have that available, though. Oh, scan him. New species logged, brine strider. Stilt-legged crab-like creature that clears the brine pool of dead remains, providing the habitat for glowing life on its wide shell. I'll call these mournful creatures brine striders. They're walking lanterns calling out into the dark. I don't remember where the path diverged. Where did that take us? Ah, okay, there's something new. Cloudy pool. The brine gathers in this small crater like a settled storm. It would be beautiful if it wasn't so toxic. Okay. Tell me when I said hi. A thin causeway leads between the pools, away from the lake. Unlike the shallow seep marks in the south, these deep craters plunge through the silt into the bedrock. Let's eat my oxygen, dude. These aren't seep pools. Something impacted the seafloor here. Meteors? But how would they get so deep? Or could some creature have left these? Well, I mean, that thought is horrifying. Lake Causeway feature. This... No! This rise projects out towards the vast brine lake to the east, cutting between deep pools. Yo, I need that. Please, come here. I want to talk to you, strange creature that was flying around. I will find you. Microbial mats, sample candidate. Among the ornate fronds, I can see the neon orange of microbial carpets, spreading out from the pool in complex growth patterns. Am I full on stuff? I am. Oh, that's the brine mat. We've already got one of those, don't we? Let's dump this in here. Might as well just grab this while we're here. Okay, we can't get any more. That's fine. Alright. Ping. Oh, Jesus. Pool network. Pools, like fogged cauldrons, model the seafloor. Bacterial mats bring bright smears of color to the scene. Brine shore. The curve of the lake shore extends out of sight, and the other side of the vast depression is too far out into the dark to be seen. Okay, I want to head back out this way because I thought there was another pathway that we didn't take. Yeah, there we go. Poisoned remains. Along the edge of the larger pools, the shells and skeletons of creatures loom out of the silt, victims of the toxic brine. Wait, so we've already been here? So how did I get here and why did I take a different path? Oh, this is where it branched. Okay. So I want to go back into the area that I was just in and try to go a little further. Where was that dude that's all zooming and... yes, zooming. Where's that dude that was all zoomy? I want to find that critter and scan it. Unless it's just here to taunt me. You're about to get zapped a little bit. Just chill. Ooh. I didn't see you before. Glowing shape, sample candidate. Something is emitting a faint glow beneath the brine. It has the sharp has the sharp shape of a shell, or perhaps skeletal remains. All right, what do I have for bits that I can ditch? Not much. Dump it in there. So we've already got 2 of them. Okay, go over there. Keep pinging. Okay. Alright. No other place to go? Alright. Go back. Okay. We want to link up and then request retrieval, I think. And we'll try to do this one... Well, oh no. We're going to land in the same place. Or not land, but we're going to dive in the same place. We're going to go elsewhere. We're going to go over to the left instead. Something has happened. Come to medical now. Minnie is growing? I haven't dared to go in. I can't make sense of the readouts. Her vitals are unreadable, but she is still alive. Whatever kept her alive on the slopes is changing her somehow. I've been sat here watching her. I don't know what to do. Do you think she's in pain? Dude, I don't fucking know. How can you know? Her brain is active, but she's unresponsive. There are procedures. Every base stack is equipped with quarantine systems. I can authorize the lab to be purged. End it now. Is that still Monet? I can't... What do you think? Should I authorize the purge? Oh, fuck me. Yes. Yes. It's not safe. Monet, No, this is wrong. You're wrong. I won't do this. I understand you want to protect me, but we can't. Not after everything. Just because we don't understand something, it doesn't mean it is dangerous to us. I thought you would understand that. I'm sorry. We need to keep going. We need to understand this. Okay, we can do this. I've hooked up that cutting torch from the debris field. I hope it helps. I need some answers. Let's find that other ROV. Oh boy. Your inner Arthas. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I think she was just trying to get our opinion, and then when we gave it, she was like, I don't like that. Is Monet still Monet? What is this place done to her? I have barely been able to leave the medical level, though I dare not enter the surgery. Did she do this by choice? For those few months on Kepler 62F, it was clear that Monet was struggling with something. We never spoke about it, but behind her intensity lay a frenzied self-doubt. She never talked about her family. All I knew was that she was a rare spacer, born out in the black, on some orbital military base. Some days she wouldn't leave the berth, just curled up so small, staring silently out. Would she do this on purpose, open up her suit and willingly slip into the deep? I suppose it doesn't matter now. All I can do is monitor her. At least I'm not alone. What is the eighth passenger? I don't know if I know what that is. No. Okay, we gotta sample all this shit. I do kind of wish there was just like a dump everything in button. Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Because there's 7 crew members? Yeah, there's 7 crew members if I recall correctly, right? Sample analysis. Alright. That should be all the samples that we collect. Wait, no? We still need to... I thought I just did you. No relevant taxonomy entries found. Is that what we also got for you? Right. Okay. Alright, so now we have taxonomy entries. Ooh! That's a funky looking one. Oops. Gross. Fucking what the hell? God damn it, I keep doing that. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Okay, that's just like fan coral. It's just a weird crab. Or something. Okay, so this is the one we're gonna do now. The real question is, how big are they? Because if they're fucking huge, that's a problem. Hey, MK, what's up? We saw what appeared to be a very large and weird, fucked up looking crab. What the hell is that? Complex creature. A massive tentacles and growths unlike anything I've seen. It's difficult to understand. Let's see, what is that? It looks like a whole menagerie of creatures caught in a silken net. And it's drifting away. Unlike anything I've seen, it's difficult to understand the anatomy of these creatures just by looking. Yeah, I fucking bet. So I think we also might have invoked nightmares into Nick because there's some fucked up looking crabs down here. Hey, Salty, what's up, dude? I don't know if that's something we generally want to share, but thank you for letting us know. Another group of towers rises towards the pale light. Each strata... God damn it, dude. Each strata piled with silver silts. Or slits. Sharing is caring, yes. But is pooping dooping. Shadowed gap. In the shadow of the towers, there is a deep silence. I forgot to bring materials with me to do the samply bits. Or not to do the samply bits, but I think you know what I mean. Wide gap. Flanked by the towers, this pass leads ever deeper down the slope. From between the towers, a pale blue light flickers over the rocks. Hey, Al, thank you for that raid, dude. That's very much appreciated. For some reason, the chat was not scrolling, or auto-scrolling as it should. That crab was fucking weird. But that is... Oh, good. Tentacle things. Veil Tangle. The veils reach out towards the black basalt towers, emanating flashes of cyan light. Yeah. Apparently we're only like 39% of the way through the game or something. More veils. We need to be careful. Goddamn right. There has to be a way to find the path through. I concur. A gap has opened up between... What the hell? A gap has opened up between the veils, allowing passage between their gauzy bodies. Right, because it's like a big old spider web, which is so great because it's underwater as well and super deep. Oh yeah, honestly, like, I have never known Al to be the kind of person that would rage quit anything. So yeah, it is literally just like, I'm stopping. That's it. Headcanon for this game is that the Humi in your submersible is playing Barotrauma. That poor person. This this Veil is in the process of splitting away from the rest of its body. Is this how Veils are born, or is this an injury? Dude, we should play that game again, because they've actually done some updates and added more creatures that could kill us. Jank as that game was, it was stupidly fun. Even on the far side of the tangle, the Veil's lights can be overwhelming, multiplying my shadow in all directions. Why does this thing up here, that I can't really get to right now, look like two just giant eyes and somebody like, whoa. Yes, they did a couple updates. I think they added a couple of them, like a couple new monsters, and I don't remember if they've added... I don't remember if they added more... whoa, that's not what I wanted. More subs, but I know the community has built more subs. With the blinding veils behind me, I notice smaller pinpricks of light moving across the slopes. There are other creatures here. Strobing veil. This close to a veil, the light is unbearably intense. It's repeating oh! Yo! Damn it! Repeating patterns leaving ghosts in my retinas. Okay, please, I must find this creature. Scan more. I see you. Okay, you're a crab. What is this? Partially transparent egg-shaped creatures which feed on by filtering water. A strange sphere sits inside its iridescent interior. Calling these cryptic creatures water bulbs. Let's see what we can uncover about them back at the lab. You got it. Honestly, the only reason I feel comfortable right now is because we're not in first person. If this was like Soma, nope, you couldn't get me to go out here and do this. No way. The outcrop hides a wealth of life, from long-legged crawlers and filter feeders to blurred shapes which flit through the suit's lamps. So, funny enough, I actually wanted to be a marine biologist when I was little. It's not going to happen. No. On closer inspection, these petals are solid growths, not fragile objects. They sit like thin tree stumps in the sand, each on its own wide stalk. You know, basically, like, when I was young, I didn't know about things like bobbit worms and the other horrifying creatures that lurk in the ocean. Unlike the Bloom's fans, these deep water variants are covered with a translucent sheath of mucus, which protects their delicate spines. It's funny, though, because it's like, the only things that really scare me are the invertebrates. That's it. Fish and, like, sharks, which are basically just big carnivorous fish, they don't scare me at all. Like, I find them insanely fascinating. Scan. I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just do? Occasionally this creature stops and unfolds its tentacles and chambers to cover a broad area of water. Is it hunting? Fuck off, you. Glowing fan, sample candidate. Something. Iridescent light passes. Okay, no. Get the fuck out. Yeah, no. Hey. Get the fuck out of here, you scumbag. Stop taking my bits. Hey, we know about this stuff. Fan sheath. Dump it in here, because, yeah. Yes, there is. Dude, Jacques Cousteau. Okay, so Eugenie Clark and Jacques Cousteau were like my two heroes when I was little. We had some VHS tapes of both of them. I must have worn those things out like so many times over. I'm going to name these cold fire bathers. Seem strongly linked to the light of these fans. Oh yeah, the Nopo meter went up to 11. There was a fucking like tentacle creature that came up and sapped some of our suit power. Yeah, great. These wide petal-shaped plants gather in groups and grow in light of deep-sea fans. Their pollen fills the water around each stem. Hey, at least we're not actually seeing what it looks like until I go back to the lab and then show you. From this side, this arrangement of pulsing and glowing forms nestled into the basalt is a sanctuary of life and warming light. Ovular growths. Standing beside these clusters of egg-like forms, I can feel them filtering huge volumes of seawater in pulsing gulps. My dad also likes to tell this story about one time when we went to I think was it the Shed Aquarium? No, I think it was an aquarium down in Florida. So like I basically knew a huge number of shark species by sight, and yeah, see, you're calling it deep anything, and that just freaks me the fuck out, dude, because it just makes me think of Lovecraft. And this woman was like this person who worked there was I forget how the situation came up, but basically like she asked a question and I answered, because I was a little kid and I was like, hey, why not? I just answered the question. And she was like, okay, but I bet you don't know what this is. And then I said, it's a this. I forget exactly what it was. I think it might have been a nurse shark or something like that. Or no, it was a wobbegong shark. And she was like, okay, why don't you and your family come with me? And so we went with her, and she showed us all this stuff, like some stuff behind the scenes. I don't remember much of it at all. I just remember seeing one tank, and that was it. But my parents love that story. Let's see. Away from the outcrop, the silty slope begins to descend again. Yeah, so that was... I don't remember how old I was when that happened. Okay, please don't be a squid. Fast creature. These rapid-swimming lobster-like creatures have dark shells with very large translucent shells or tails. How do they even move so fast? Creatures are so fast, their dark color makes them hard to see, but let's keep track of them. Sure! A large field of veils whose pale blue light appears unpleasantly cold in comparison to the warmth of the oasis. Bright veils. A large tangle of veils stretches out ahead, producing a cyan light that softly flickers in the dark. Alright, there's nobody else that's coming near us, so let's go over here and check this out. Do not go into the veils, because that'll probably hurt you really bad. The veils here created a set of gauzy walls, closing off the ocean around. But wait, are they active? Hypnotic lights. There's a beauty to the being... To be... Ooh, my God. Oh, no! Stay away. No, fuck off. Leave. Can I shoot you? No! Get out of here! What are you doing? Leave! I hate it. I hate it. Piss off and leave me alone. You weird man. No wonder Renee's ROV never returned. These veils are everywhere. Like on Earth, they must rely on predation to survive this deep, where little sunlight reaches. The tangled veils create a translucent, twitching maze. Who knows how temporary these gaps in the walls of veils are? We should make use of them while we can. Yeah, hopefully they don't close off behind us and, trap us. Because that would never happen. Especially not when you've already got weird tentacle creatures coming after. Fuck off, you! No, leave. Piss off. Go away. These looped veils are carrying a wave of light that passes from one individual to another and back again. What does this mean? What does it mean? Go away. You freak me the hell out, dude. An avenue between the veils, flickering shapes caught in the suit's lamps suggest other creatures make use of this safe passage too. I bet. Maybe the veils are actually keeping us safe from the weird tentacle creatures that are trying to eat our suit. Like city lights beyond a curtain, I can see the warm pinpricks of an oasis behind this waxy veil. Gross. Translucent shell, sample candidate. You fuckers. Why would you do this? Some creature is shed or lost it. Ah! Okay, I wanted to scan you, but apparently it's not a thing I can do right now. Segment of its tail shell here. Among the veils. It looks small enough to sample. You know what? Alright, we'll do it. Ow. I don't know what I expected to happen. Section of shell from a creature with a translucent tail. How much? What was this? Oh, this is oxygen. I don't need that. Ow. Tangled edge. A gap in the tightly knotted veils leads to the welcoming amber light of another oasis. Past the drifting sheets, another pattern of light skirts around the edges of the tangle. A mutual predator to the veils, perhaps. I'm sorry, what? Veils are coming together ahead. I hope this gap will remain open long enough for us to pass through. You're swimming around really fast, and it's kind of freaking me out. Creature remains sample candidate. This veil is hung with the husks of its catches. It's hung. With the husks of its catches, like dark clouds obscuring the starlit sky of its bioluminescence. Apparently, it's time to trim my mustache again, because I'm already getting tickles on the face. Digested remains. An unknown creature caught by a veil and partially digested. Great. Ooh. Glowing fan, sample candidate. This fan shimmers with waves of of cold fire, bathing the surrounding oasis in warm light. Okay, well, I would like to go there. And also scan. I know that I can do that, but I would also like to scan. Thank you. Cold fire fan. Filter feeding fans that beneath a mucus sheath, something. Let's see, I call these cold fire fans after those mesmerizing flame-like pulses. Beneath a mucus sheath, pulse with warm light, often surrounded by other creatures benefiting from their glow. And we can sample it, so we should. Oh, that was this guy. Okay. Oh, what are you? Complex creature. It's hard to tell if this is a colonial creature or a single individual. Whichever it is, we should keep our distance to avoid those tentacles. Yes. Very yes. Another garden of creatures rooted into the dark basalt shelf. A welcome break from the intensity of the veil field. I saw you. Living outcrop. Tiny creatures crawl silently along the layers of dark rocks, leaving behind small, strange marks in the shallow silt piles. Scan him! Okay, no, we've already seen that guy. So tomorrow, because we should be getting the next update for Stone Shard, I will be playing Stone Shard tomorrow. Unless they actually don't release the update tomorrow, and then I don't know, I'll probably play this. But if they do release the update, it's going to be Stone Shard. The veils seem to sit away from these basalt shelves, preferring to seed themselves in the silty black between rocks. And then after we play a little bit of that, because I do want to finish this, and then we'll probably go right back to Stone Shard. So, like, I'll play Stone Shard tomorrow, and then Monday next week, if I haven't finished this tonight, then I will be playing that on Monday. Your mind has been successfully stabilized. So what is Moon doing tonight? What is she playing? This side of the outcrop, where the warm light of the fan does not reach, is absent of life. Anything closer? No? Ah. At the edge of the outcrop, in the light sand slope, a shallow burrow leads down. Eggs glint within. You could sample them. Honestly, if you're looking for explosions in Kerbal, have me play it, because there will be plenty of explosions, because I will kill everything on accident. No, they've all been signed with EV, and I believe that's because of the doctor's name. I think. Let's dump that in here. Because I'm scared. That would mean 7 something. It is currently my my god. Right now it's 2012 hours. So for me, and I start at 7 p.m. my time usually, which would have been an hour ago, is when I would usually start. Seems strange that they would include EV in every observation when it says Dr. Ellery Vass just below it. You know what? It could be that the Dr. Ellery Vass is to kind of like it's her electronic clipboard, and so that's to designate that it's like assigned to her. And then she's just signing it because maybe this is like stuff that gets transmitted to the company. I'm not really sure. That's just a guess on my part. I honestly have no actual clue. Please don't attack me. A better look at these creatures shows they are swimming with their rear legs while using their tails to propulse themselves somehow. I haven't found any more nightmare fuel yet. Let's see. As the basalt shelf sinks back into the silt, the ocean floor falls away into the huge field of glittering veils. Oh, good. More veils. Of your growth, sample candidate. These pale pulsing creatures have noticeable growths budding off of their central form. We could sample them here. And we will. I see you. You stay the fuck away from me. Fast creature. Don't attack me. Go away. Creatures seem to follow the same routes back and forth through the veils, which, why do they limit themselves to these pathways? Beats me, dog. Honestly, I would not be, at all, surprised to find a xenomorph down here, if I'm being honest. Let's see, away from the outcrops, the veils claim what territory they can. This field is the largest I've seen wandering away into the deep. I forget, they said that we can sample here, yes? Yeah. Oh, we're full. Well, fuck me. Ovoid bud. Well, that's not gonna do me any goddamn good. Fuck it. Dump this in the tank. I would like to keep it for now. I have to keep reminding myself that the shapes that I'm seeing out in the distance are just terrain. They're not, you know, they're not monsters yet. A split in the veils leads into their ornate interior. Navigating this huge tangle will be a struggle. Oh, joy. Oh, yeah, you know, and now that you say it, Teleport, I'm kind of thinking, like, that feels like, oh my god, what if we start getting messages from What's-Her-Face? Was it May? Oh, just scan him! Okay, no, we already know about you, never mind. The veils are reaching in toward... What about you? Okay. Point of the ocean floor, like veins seeking the sun. Mirrored veils. The veils on each side are mimicking each other, both in shape and pattern. They're pulsing lights playing a mirror game. Here the walls of veils come in close, turning away from the core of the tangle at strange angles. Are you a... No, you're not a scannable. I mean, you are, but you aren't. From this middle point of the tangle, it is impossible to see beyond the glimmering walls to the ocean beyond. So just curious, those of you who like it when I play horror games, have you watched my Darkwood series? Because that game was scary as fucking hell. A large basalt pillar sits on the shelf, its dark skin textured by the lights of the nearby tangle. What are you? Scan him! Quick! Yes! Deep orrery. An ornate creature that casts a net-like arrangement of tentacles and polyps. Let's see, with all these orbiting polyps and strings, I'm naming these creatures Deep Orrery. Let's see, shock passing prey into submission. Go away from me, sir. Dude, I have to say, out of every horror game I've ever played, that one might be my favorite. Fuck you, I saw you. I need to scan you. Large basalt pillar sits on the shelf, this dark skin texture by the lights of the nearby tangle. I see you. I see you. Curving walls lead to another gap in the tangle, filled with light and movement. And nopes. Lots of nopes. Sample candidate, Deep Oasis. Glow of an amber fan and the soft shapes of its petal audience can be seen just behind the black rock. Shielded from the veils by the basalt pillar, this fan hosts a small colony of petals, their spores speckled across its sheath. Am I full? I'm full. So what do I want to ditch? We can dump this into the fuel tank, yeah? Yeah, dump it in the fuel tank. Fuel tank, not the other one. Okay. I don't know, man. There's some pretty fucked up shit in Darkwood. Oh. It's just pollen. I don't need this. Because deep sea stuff is freaky. Deep sea stuff is very freaky. It's because it's like the closest thing to aliens we really get, you know? Like, you ever seen a viperfish? Those things are weird looking. The petals here have had their roots dug up by some creature. We could take a sample of them here. And boy, will we. Viperfish is basically an eel with a huge face. And, like, really big... What the hell is this? Petal root, bulbous root of deep sea plant life form a glowing oasis. Or from a glowing oasis. These glittering veils have formed a close perimeter around the outcrop, but seem to be keeping their distance. So, right, actually in Soma, there was a section where we ran into a... You motherfucker. Abyssal sail shell. Small dark creatures with a large translucent shell, or tail shell. I'm calling these abyssal sail shells. Wide. Okay. Translucent tail shell that allows it to rapidly move through the waters, navigating the veil tangles safely. At the tip of the shelf, fed by a soft current, these creatures pump moving water through the outcrop. Is this why the veil stay away? So, like, viperfish, they look freaky, but keep in mind that while their teeth are really long, that's because they're pescivores. So they really only eat fish. Like a lot of critters that you see with really long teeth like that, it's because they eat fish. So like sand tiger sharks are not dangerous to people; they just look freaky as hell. At the far side of the veil field, this outcrop sits silently, dappled with warm pockets of life. Not just warm pockets of life. Tangle gap. This gap between tangles allows passage further down the slope. Go away, tentacle monster. You son of a bitch. Veil clearing. Another clearing in the field, surrounded by possible routes both through and past the flickering veils. I see you. Get the hell out of here. The tangle is behind us, now leaving only the dark of the deep ocean behind, or ahead. Okay, I will grab this. And you will piss off, Mr. Tentacle Man. I see you. Get out of here, dude. Leave me alone. I understand that you're trying to hunt me, you piece of shit. Don't do it. Leave. Jellyfish asshole. Tangle split. One tangle has split away from another here, moving down the slope away from the field. I just wanted to scan him and make sure that he was, you know, if he was a lobster or a jellyfish. Or what the hell am I even saying? I wanted to make sure that he's not trying to eat us. Well, I guess part of it comes down to, like, what you're more familiar with. You know what I mean? Like, when I was swimming in the Caribbean a long time ago, well, maybe not a long time ago, I forgot how many years ago it was. You know, like, I got super excited about going in the water with a barracuda. And the thing was almost as big as I am. But it's because, like, I wasn't wearing anything shiny, so I know the barracuda's not going to hurt me. You know? But it all comes down to what you know about the thing, I guess, is how I see it. Shell segment gleams among a large number of semi-digested husks, dumped by the veils. It looks small enough to sample. Well, that's really nice and everything, but, no? Because, well, then again, I guess, maybe. As tangles split away from each other, the density of the field starts to thin out. Alright, fine. You got me. I'll go. Don't come over here. Just leave me alone. Okay, so we got more shell bits. Put that in there. Veil clearing. Another piece of territory yet to be claimed by the strange patterns of the veil field. Two veils that look like they have recently split present a narrow gap in the maze. Okay, maybe we can go around this way. Here the veils part, looping back towards their fellow tangles. Honestly, like, I can't even imagine being the kind of person that would want to do this. And be this deep in the ocean. Any ocean. Another refuge in these dark waters glowing with life. Like, forget the shit you don't know about. What about the shit we do know about? I mean, not that giant squid have been known to attack people because they're such, you know, they're deep sea animals, but, like, I don't know. That would scare the bejesus out of me. They're like a Greenland shark. Nah. Not that Greenland sharks are, like, you know, super fast predators or anything. They're super slow, but, like, they eat everything. Everything. And they're mostly blind, so it's not like they know that you're not food by looking at you. Will do, Nick. See, though the veils are encroaching on its position, the outcrop silently holds out against their cold chemical light. Surrounded by its audience of light bathing petals, the fan's sheaths shimmers with amber light like a bonfire. You know what? I'm not going into this shit. I don't care. Something clouded in the purple... Fine. Fine. You got me. You got me. I'll do it. This better be good. What is this? It's a polyp. Polyp of a colonial life form, lost on the ocean floor. Cool. You know what? I got some of these already. I need fuel. I need it. Stop! Fucking asshole thing! Just stop with the zapping. That's all I want. Just no more zapping. Oh, good. We got more fuel. Dump it in the tank. Among the elegant shapes of the petals, small, stilt-like creatures stride, cleaning particles from their pitted surfaces. Deep pollen. I don't want deep pollen. Deep pollen is trash. Get it out of here. At the edge of the light from the fan, the petals are pale and twisted away, perhaps turning to another food source. or source of food. The tangles of the veils close around the outcrop here, encasing it in a prison of glinting light. Basalt pillar. Faint flickers of light silhouette a tail, or a tall pillar of basalt shards rising up into the faint blue glow above. So, Tealport, what was your favorite part of the Darkwood series? And that goes for anybody who's watched it. If you remember, like, what your favorite part was. Because I am curious. Twisted back on itself, this veil is being eaten away by creatures. Its defensive abilities neutered. We could sample some tissue here. The credits? That... You and I are kindred spirits, sir. Oh, we got another new thing. What is this? Veil tissue. Alright. Okay, we can't go any further. It felt like your personal hell was over. Where the veils intersect, strips of bioluminescence flower, creating bright folds in their gossamer material. Yeah, that was pretty goddamn awesome, I have to say. The whole game was so well crafted, especially for people who have never made a horror game before. Like, that game was just incredible. After the last veil, the dark returns. Well, great, now we gotta push through this garbage again. Dark water. Outside the reach of the veils, the dark, cool water is a welcome change from the incoherent patterns of lights. We seem to be through. No more veils ahead. Salt outcrop. Unlike the other outcrops, this one is free of life. Is proximity to the veils vital for the other colonies' coexistence? Oh yeah, dude. They were just like I love that so many of the characters were so exaggerated. I mean, aside from Wolfman though, I guess. But I mean, he was a fucking Wolfman. Another shelf appears out of the dark. But oh, are you scannable? Okay, well, I've already looked at you, I guess. But nowhere on its surface can I see the warm glow of a fan. Another of Manet's ROVs scattered across the outcrop. We should still be able to use its transmission core to reach the base. Yeah, Wolfman was a very interesting character, but I think out of all the characters in the game, my favorite was probably, was it Piotrek? The kid with the violin. I really like that character for some reason. The slope continues its irresistible descent towards the distant abyssal plain. All I have to say, while Snailman was cool, fuck that thing. That was disgusting. The veils thin out, and the last of their light falling across the sandy slope as it descends into deeper water. Snailman was fucking gross. But Piotrek was awesome, even if he was, like, kind of deformed. Well, like, super deformed, but... Is it weird to say that there was actually something kind of charming about some of those characters? Here in the middle of the outcrop, an ROV. This one was carrying a supply cache, too. We can charge and refill our oxygen. Let's access this map data. Open up the terminal when you are ready. Power. Oxygen. Map data. It seems like this RV was disabled by the veils, like the other one. This can't be right. The mapping scans report a large physical anomaly just north of here. From the data, it looks like a structure? That's impossible. Maybe the veils fried the sensors? Either way, we should go check it out. Freaking me out a little bit. Because now I'm not sure, like, are there fucking aliens here or something? Darkwood is on PC. It is fucking awesome, Al. Like, if you want to play a really cool horror game, because it's not first person, it's top down. And it, like, so many other horror games are full of jump scares. Darkwood is all tension. Like, the entire game is just unrelenting tension. Past the shelf, there is only the dark of the descending slope. And the best part is, well, best, is that the tension never lets up, ever. It's like, okay, I've dispatched this creature. Now I know there's more out there, and I have to be even more careful. Oh God, it's so good. There is nothing here but the silt flickering in the suit's headlamps. A little bit. So Limbo didn't have any combat, but it did certainly have some horror elements. Darkwood is like the horror elements of Limbo turned up to 11. It's it doesn't start off super horror until you get to like nighttime. Nighttime is when things start getting spooky. And then as you progress, it gets spookier and spookier. And it doesn't help that like the way the vision works is you actually have to turn around to see what's behind you. So like you can hear them, but you can't see them. Some strangely geometric rocks sit in the dark. What are these formations? It's a Borg cube. Unknown structure object. A huge flat structure bedded into the sea floors. Could Manet have built this? No, because it was the Borg. What are we looking at here? It appears to be some kind of shaft cut into the bedrock. I can't see the bottom. Who made this? It looks like it's been here far longer than anything else. Well, I hate that. Distortion. I don't believe there's a sanity mechanic. I don't believe there's anything that makes you blind. I want to say there's poison that kind of fucks with your vision, but I don't believe it actually makes you blind or like messes with your ability to see. And yeah, really the only sanity mechanic is your own. For what I remember, the traitor was a sympathetic and charming character, especially as he wrote on his wool glove, and when he didn't want you to leave him when you unlock the next area. Oh, yeah, the guy that would show up in the morning. Right. Yeah, I'm with Nick. My sanity was depleted the entire fucking series. Let's see. A yawning black shaft that descends into the seafloor. Into the seafloor, not onto. An anomaly that must be solved. I hate that. How far is the descent? Wait. How far is the descent? Is it only 12 meters? Yeah, only 12 meters. I mean, so that's like, I don't know, 40 feet-ish? What the fuck do you want from me, dude? Oh, fuck. No, it goes deeper. The suit's lamps reveal two dark holes on opposite sides of the shaft, their torn edges thick with crimson rust. Collapsed room. The compartment is filled with sand and rock, which looks to have entered through the collapsed ceiling. The bent entryway bulges inward like the interior corridor of some huge creature's distended body. Are we inside a square worm? Don't do that. Pale polyp creature. This almost motionless polyp, with its wavering cilia, is anchored to the metal plating. See that these pale creatures are scraping patterns into the walls. What are they? Let's see what we can find out. Its pale flesh is drained of color. Why is it scraping patterns? This reminds me of Annihilation, the book. Sand drifts soften the metal room. On the far wall, strange spirals glint in the headlamps as a pale creature obsessively traces their patterns. I hate that. I hate that. So what happens if I go here? Nope, can't go any further. Okay. Do I have to interact with the creature? Was there a sample that I didn't notice? Further down? Maybe. Let me, maybe I missed a descent point? Or rather, maybe I could just descend further. Oh, fuck. That's exactly what it is. I can descend further. Oh, Jesus. Okay. A huge round doorway sealed by a tiny metal security iris, the plates of which are furred with orange rust, which I'm guessing this is where we use the cutting torch. Torch available. It's some kind of facility. What was happening down here? Why would someone bury this place so deep? We have to get inside. We can use the torch to cut through this the seal. Fire it up. You got it, boss. So, prime it. Ignite it. Are we currently cutting? Breach corridor. Sand and rock fills one side of the access way. Dark holes in the walls and ceiling reveal layers of eaten-away piping and ducts. Okay, either we were here before, and by we I mean humans, or it's fucking aliens. Beyond the doorway, a vast, dark space opens out in the rock, filled with the skeletal remains of rusted machines. Not to sound like the guy in the History Channel, but aliens. Why is everything orange? Red sediment feature. The waters is filled with red flakes, catching in the lamps. From the... Why is my oxygen getting fucked? From the walls, rusticles hang in lumpen garlands. This place is huge. How the hell was it built down here? There's very little oxygen for the rebreather to cycle here, so we are running on reserves. Let's move. Sure. Problem is, I don't read very fast. I know, right? I'm like, what the fuck is a rusticle? Once a loading bay or vehicle hangar, this domed atrium is now dark and distorted. Its huge sand drifts, hiding piles of oxidized material. I hate that. Above, a huge shelf lurches out of the curved roof of the bay, its underside hung with globular orange spines. Okay, now we're getting, like, Doom music. Derelict vehicle. The eaten-away frame of a vehicle lies outside the lock, the canopy twisted open and fused in place. What the fuck is going on? Arcology entry feature. A large open lock leads into the depths of what appears to be a corporate arcology. What secrets have been buried in this place? Open lock. Both doors of the massive main lock sit open. The entire arcology must be flooded. What is that? Derelict buildings feature. The main volume of the arcology is broken up by low buildings, partitioned away from the space. Were these offices? Homes? The vast volume of the arcology lies ahead, piled with rock and sand, drowned in this dark ocean. What is that? Those are Bicol markings. What was an exoplanet extraction core doing here? Decrypting. Whoa! I worked for Baikal. Monet worked for Baikal. They built this suit. They built the base. They mine exoplanets, skim helium from gas giants. They help drive forward humanity's expansion. If they'd discovered life, we would have known. Everyone would have known, unless something happened here, something they didn't want anyone to know about. Fragment. Massive breach. Life support will fail in 2 hours. Is there anyone from Baikal on this channel? Please respond. Sandy clearing feature. In all directions, huge sand drifts shine in the dark. Among them, the shapes of crippled buildings resemble the remains of a desert city. What is this? Bright spiral sample candidate. The metal walls of this passage are etched with strange spiral patterns. What made these? Some glisten with a thick mucus. I'm betting it's that weird critter that was all doing the, like, freaking... that thing right there. Doing the goddamn annihilation thing. Scans suggest the creature is eroding the surface below through its cilia, absorbing nutrients from the oxidizing material. Narrow passage. Thick knots of wires are strung between the angular buildings. Ducts and pipes poke through the pockmarked metal plates. I am the dude from the History Channel now. I just don't have his hair. Wait, no, I forgot to sample a thing. Go back and sample. 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 I'm full. Okay. That can go in here. Right? Yes. Okay. Okay, wow, there's a lot of sampling to be done. What is this? Spiral secretion. The ornate pattern of the secretions left on the corroded metal panel. Wait, I want to... Do I want to eat any of these? No. Okay. The whole facade of this building has been torn away. The rough shapes of metal furniture and tools lie in the sand. Buried desk. The distinct shape of a metal desk lies half buried, its surface blurred by a thick coating of silt. Breached wall. The metal walls are buckled by pressure and corrosion, leaving a large wound in the side of this compartment. By pressure, or by a giant squid monster? H. Albright. Fragment. H.A. Say again, Constantine. What did... Jesus Christ. Harrison. Site 2 is breached. Power is spiking. Sounds very bad. Sounds extremely bad. Cave-in. This entire corner of the room is piled with tons of rock and sand, leading to a gaping hole in the arcology ceiling above. Freaking out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Fused machines. The angular shapes of heavy machinery are everywhere, their delicate parts fused by corrosion into complex, thick-veined patterns. Well, you know, magic is no match against giant sea monsters, I guess. E. Harrison. Deep retrieval needs more repairs. They need to stop pushing so hard. The artificers aren't going anywhere. Machine room. The lines of fabricators and machines suggest this was some sort of machine room for the repair and maintenance of the arcology. Well, I mean, if you're going by Cthulhu stuff, I'm guessing that they are pretty resistant to magic. I would hope. I think. Maybe. I don't know. Loose wires hanging across the doorway are clumped with fragile lumps of silt like tumorous growths. An automated transport sled loaded with crushed storage cases juts unevenly out of the sand. Pretty much. What is meh, Salty? Blocked passage. Passage to the northwestern part of the arcology is blocked by a huge rock slide, with boulders strewn across the concourse. Did I not scan that? I thought I did. User Otero. Massive breach. Life support will fail in 2 hours. Is there anyone by call on this channel? Please respond. An alleyway cuts between piles of sand and loose rocks, sealed up with a security iris after the breach. Oh, Darkwood, you mean? That's right, man. It's not for everybody, but I gotta tell you, it is a fucking fantastic game. User T. Sigurdsson. Site 2 is silent, and there's nothing from the Opolos. Site 1 is off the grid. Where are the rescue teams? Okay, I'm thinking we gotta do torch stuff now. So prime it. Ignite. It could. It's true. It's, well, I mean, but the thing is, like, graphics aren't everything, man. You know, like Rain World, which is a fucking fantastic game, is kind of the same. Why is this thing showing up again? Bent at a sharp angle, the wall here is completely is coming away from the floor, leaving a sharp-edged opening into the room behind. Why is this constantly showing up as something I can scan again? I don't understand why that keeps showing up as something I can scan over and over again. Yeah, it may just be a taste thing. Some people just don't really care for pixel stuff. Not that it's pixel stuff, but I mean, like, just... For me, graphics don't really matter as much. The tables, the disordered rows of chairs, this had to be where they ate, where they spoke. How many lived here? Chairs lie in disarray. What happened here? Was it sudden or a slow creeping realization that everything was about to end? Honestly, like, the creeping dread of just, like, knowing something is going to end is probably the worst. Heavy drift. Sand slopes down over the tables and chairs from a breach in the wall. It's hard not to imagine witnessing the breach. Yeah, really. Exactly. Hopefully nobody lives here right now, right? G. Jones. Alright, dude. Let's see. Nothing from the Ophilos. Their feed just cut out. We're being erased here. Michael is pulling the... Oh, boy. I'm not trying to like pick on you or anything, Salty. I'm just saying, like, my preference, the graphics and stuff don't matter to me, but it is all down to preference. Like, if you like stuff, you know, or like if you don't like something, then that's just your taste. You know what I mean? And just like if I don't like something, it's just my taste. It's all individual. You know, I'm not going to be like, man, that sucks that you hate that. Like, yeah, that wouldn't make sense. I don't, yeah. Okay, the polyp's flesh recoils at the barest hint of pressure, but no further movement or response occurs. But we're super deep in the ocean and it recoils to pressure? Or just like pressure as in like we poke it? Exactly, you hate that? How dare you have a personal opinion? KM. Disobedience will be reported. Consider your next action carefully. Damn it, Koji, we are dead and buried here. What the fuck is that shit? It's a frog, man. Were these gaps smashed through when the arcology was breached, or are they part of the slow process of rust and decay? Oh, there's more. Dark corner. The facility twists away into the dark, drifts of pale sand filling its corridors as if it is an ancient tomb. Pale polyp. Spirals have been etched across the surface, representing the polyp's path of movement at the rate of an inch per week. That's like... The metal plates here are marked with elaborate spiraling patterns. Their makers, ghostly polyps, scrape back and forth, adding to their work. Is there another one? Slow Mason. Okay, so what is our human gonna say? I'll call these slow masons for their careful glacial etching into the arcology's wall. They are hypnotic. Slow, colorless polyps found inside the arcology ruins. They trace spirals across the metal remains of the facility, feeding off of it. The wall glistens with a thick secretion left by a polyp retracting the same pattern, retracing the same pattern over and over. We could sample the thick mucus here. Actually, something I was just thinking about what you said. I think I took it a little too, like, not personal. I don't know how to fucking describe it, but like I think I read too much into it, if that makes sense. Because like I do the same thing when I look at games. A lot of times I have to make a snap judgment, and that's exactly what you're doing. Okay, maybe not. Okay, that may actually kind of makes it sound like you were just, you know, making the judgment without anything to back it up, and that's not what I mean. Okay, definitely dump that in there, and if there's more of it, dump this in there too. It's like there are certainly games that I've looked at and just been like, I know I'm not gonna like that. Well, yeah, but sometimes you got to do that, you know, like you wanna make a judgment about something before you really get into it, because like you know, you're not gonna spend like $40 to play something that when you first look at it you're like, I don't really like the way it looks. You know, the remains of a workshop or office flooded with sand and rock, twisted metal plating hanging from bent frames. The music's back. I hate it. Blocked corridor. Sand has filled this corridor, which looks to have led back into the entry hall. The breach must have been catastrophic. Bent desk. A metal desk pushed against the sand drift. A Bicol-branded mug holds a pile of rotting paper from drifting away. Yeah, the Aragon movie was kind of butts, but and I'm with you. The cover art for the book was also kind of butts. No one is coming to dig us out. Constantine has cost us everything. The entry hall has breached. This is it. End. That sounds very unfortunate and bad and horrible. So wait, then we're all this... Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. We already read that one. The creatures were people. Is my guess. This room was totally obliterated by rock and sand. The shards, rock and stone, the shards of bent wall are the only remains of the building. Because think about what's happening to Minay. She's basically changing her form, right? Sort of. I had her, all the people are like, I don't know. I'm sorry, Isabel, for what we did here. Among the sand drifts that fill these 4 buildings are the shapes of tiered bunks. This is where they slept. This place isn't a facility, it's a city. How many more died here? Those without diver quarters? Those buried under rock and sand? Rock and stone. It makes my skin crawl. The door to the berths is slid back, revealing the sand-choked beds of the arcology's occupants. Also, I appreciate what you were saying, Salty, about, you know, like, it's supporting the channel and liking the streams. Is honestly, like, when people, like, sub or whatever, like, that's great, but, like, the best feeling on the planet is when somebody tells you that they actually like the stuff you're doing. Like, I don't know. For me, that's always that's the big thing. Especially since I'm not doing this to like, you know, to live. I just do this for fun. You don't know that Jason. Yeah, you don't know that, Jason. They're going to come for us. No one is coming. We both know that. Let's see. I lied to get here, Kai, and now I'm going to I'm going to play for it. Okay, typos. What do you mean? This isn't even my real name. A set of overalls lie flat on the berth, wisps of sediment drifting from their openings. A Baikal logo is still faintly visible. Do you mean Final Fantasy X? That's going to be a nope for me, man. Wait, what do you mean, Nick? You mean this thing? Fuel's getting low. Set of overalls lie flat on the berth, wisps of sediment drifting from their openings. A Baikal logo is still faintly visible. Hey, Captain! I have not faced a shrimp boss yet, thank God. Okay, we gotta throw something in here that's gonna add some fuel. Does this add fuel? Not a lot. But I gotta sack something. We gotta be careful. Hope we can find something that'll allow us to refuel. On the still intact berths lie decomposing clothes. A single glove, a pair of round clouded glasses. I'm going to get some shut-eye. First geoengineering shift is in 4 hours. See you in 3. Well, you did miss the weird squid creatures that were attacking us and taking energy out of our suit. Those bastards. Behind the crew quarters, huge pipes sit against the wall, surrounded by sand. What was powering this place when it was in operation? Human souls. I don't know. Were these supplying the power for the archaeology? Perhaps a geothermal plant buried deep below? We're also super running out of energy. Collapsed tunnel feature. Wide tunnel to the northern part of the archaeology is completely collapsed. Is there anything left under all those tons of rock? It's true. Squid are the true carriers of the Dark Soul. Let's see. This pipe, now filled with sand, looks like it exploded outwards, taking the glass atrium wall with it. Brain coral creature. Earth-originating species of coral from the families Musidae and Merlinidae. They feed through both photosynthesis and filtering. Wait a minute. Earth-originating. Hard coral. Earthborn corals. These polyps build environments for themselves through the calcareous or calcareous material deposited as their skeletons. Because I know that coral are mostly calcium. Calcium? Well, that's what makes their kind of bony structure, if I remember right. This octagonal atrium was clear. Well, then again, I guess it depends on the kind of coral, but you get what I'm saying. This octagonal atrium was clearly once lined with glass and filled with water, an aquarium at the heart of the facility. But why? Earth corals? With the prime view of the atrium, this had to be the office of someone important within the archaeology. Now it's just another derelict room. Come on, man, we gotta get something to sample here. I understand, sir. No, we are prepared to follow erasure protocols. The site is already sealed, with all hands present. A ragged split in the atrium wall is lined with rust, leading through into dark particle-choked corridors. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's basically it's almost like a skeleton. Oh, what is that? Tell me. Be sample. Oh, I can sample. The fan seems to have a symbiotic relationship with the corals. It consumes their spawn, and they absorb the fan's light. Sample this shit. Give me fuel. There's a lot of shit in here. Fan sheath. Fuel me. Thank you. I can't fuel. There's no more? Shit. The derelict atrium reaches upwards, its sculpted rock towers rising into the dark. We can use it to reach the upper levels. You're fucking kidding me with this shit, dude. You are fucking kidding me. Decorative rocks, object, basalt towers brought from the slopes above to decorate the aquarium. A reminder for the occupants of the ocean above their heads. I hate that. This would have had to have been here for so goddamn long. Metal boxes sit on powered pallets, abandoned mid-transit. What were they moving in and out of this place? Hopefully power cells and oxygen tanks, because I need oxygen and power. Very badly. Cave-in. The rock and sand covers the rusted metal of the arcology so completely that it is hard to know where the facility ends and the cave-in begins. Did I already hear you? Okay, yes, we did. The walls here are covered in spiraling patterns, an obscure lexicon written in glistening trails of mucus. Yeah, right? Give me bits. Okay, I can't do any more? What does this give? Both. Okay, so we're gonna refill our oxygen tanks, because I can sample the shit out of this. Nope, that's not it. Okay, oxygen is refilled, mostly. Here, the collapsing arcology walls have broken through into an existing cave complex deep beneath the ocean floors. Creatures you've never tasted before. He's right. He's right. We're clearly wasting our time by not eating all of these creatures. The caves lead away from the bulk of the arcology, wrapping themselves through the solid rock of the planet's crust. The sand filling this tunnel turns into a dark horizontal slit. Jesus. But I can detect a current running into it. How deep do these caves lead? I don't know, dude, but it's very deep. The spirals here are smaller and more interwoven than elsewhere in the arcology. Layer after layer forms a patina of circular marks. It sounds absolutely grotesque. I love it. Don't you be a squid. You get the fuck out of here. These caves look ancient and deep. Is this where the creatures now inside the arcology came from? Did the breach release them? Pale skin. A large molted skin is piled in the corner of the cave, fragments of it drifting away across the sand. What creature left this here? I hate it. Is it a human skin? A piece of a large pale skin found in the caves by the arcology. Oh, good! Dump that in the fuel tank. Take this one home. A sea bear, perhaps? Let's hope not. Let's hope extremely not. A pale skin. It's a white person. Wait, what if this is the origin of Cosm and we are here... Let's hope this has no connections to the Great Old Ones. I love and hate that, like, deep thrumming explosion sound. Where the mariachi at? What? Okay, we can ascend. Upper archaeology. 8 broken windows stare out of the atrium into the upper floors, where white paneled walls resist the rust. At the top of the basalt pillar, a miniature statue of a Baikal suit stands heroically. What the hell was this place? Broken glass. The struts supporting the window have corroded away, their uncoated metal now furred with rust. Oh, you're killing me with this, man. The thick chunks of glass can still be seen in the sand. It must have been terrifying when the aquarium shattered. I fucking bet, dude! Atrium walkway feature. Unlike the lower level, the walls here have resisted the corrosion. Their matte, white coverings stained with orange, but unbroken. And it looks like we're only going to be able to go back down. This whole facility destroyed, buried, erased. Was this what Manet was looking for in the deep of the ocean? But why did she take her fucking suit off? But how did she even know it was here? I feel like I'm swimming through other people's secrets. Equipment cases. Rusted shut, these hulking metal containers must have carried engineering suits or fabricators. Baikal was building something. Wait, there's also a scannable here. Northern Lab. The huge entryway suggests this is the complex's main lab. Faded Baikal markings explain procedures for entry and decontamination. The entire ceiling of the lab has come down, filling the chamber with sand and rock. No one could have escaped. Well, remember that we also found that thing that was like, erasure protocols, destroy the whole thing, with everybody there. So there was clearly something that allowed this to happen, that was built in. The ceiling is given away above the lab's second entrance, filling it with rock and sand and stone. Because rock and stone. The aquarium glass of the atrium is shattered, leaving only glinting shards in the orange rust-stained silt. Seating area. Around the atrium, some of the seating areas remain, flooded with sand. It's easy to imagine lab techs meeting here on their lunch. I don't know if they would... I don't know if dental insurance is something these people would have gotten. I'm sure it is just a standard security drill, Mr. Fidanza? Fidanza? We will be able to return you to the other shareholders soon, or shortly. Shareholders? Okay, I understand. You're eating my oxygen. I get it. The financial implications are massive. We have never even come close to achieving this level of computation before. Excuse me? Mr. Fidanza sounds like an asshole. Does he have extreme care and energy? Is that what's going on? A crippled metal shutter has rusted over the hole left by the broken window, a security measure which, in end, meant nothing. You're killing me. Well, this... Biohazard boxes. Transporter has spilt its load of biohazard containers in a faded but unmistakable neon yellow. What was happening here? I would love to have another sampling area, please. Sam Drift. The grubby white paneling gives way to golden sand and rock, busting out from within the rooms themselves. We owe the artificers nothing. We can't even prove their sentience. They're a material one Baikal has every right to exploit. Even in this sorry state, the paneling and double ceiling locks suggest a Baikal lab. Machines glint against the walls. Yeah, me too. Yeah, this seems like a branch of the UAZ. You're not wrong. This side of the lab is layered with sweeping sand covering the layers of ornate machinery. Okay, we're definitely going to have to chew up something into our oxygen tank. Shit. I don't want to, though. A lot of this is... Well, none of this is actually good for oxygen tank either. Fuck, we're running out. This is the only one we got, and we got to dump it into the oxygen tank because we're running out. Once we find a sample spot. Oh my god, Dealport. We have to power down. If the shielding is breached, it could blow out the whole facility. Start shutdown now. Ornate geometric skeletons like those found in the Bloom. Minet called them artificers. What are they doing down here? Wait a minute. Interesting. Here the wall seems to have breached through to a cave system, opening up during the breach. Oh, let's go. There's a sample-y bit. Please, many samples. Thank you, God. Dump that shit in here, dude. The equipment here, they were building something, slicing and etching the artificer skeletons. But what? Can these geodesic spheres really be valuable enough to build a whole arcology around? And then bury it? Burying it part is the one that I'm like, what the fuck, dude? We already read this one, right? Protect the specimens. These skeletons alone are able to correlate millions of qubits. They are irreplaceable. Wait, why can't I go there? Finito, essential. Sealed cups still sit on the surface. Styluses buried in layers of silver silt. Hardware corroded into lumpen piles. Is it weird that I've gotten used to the orange interface? Atomic etcher. This was a computing lab. All these machines are for hardware fabrication. Lab locks. Why didn't these close when the arcology was breached? Were they opened afterwards? The lockdown overridden somehow? The security locks lie wide open, giving a clear view of the laboratory equipment beyond. Oh, fuck. I feel attacked. I feel attacked. As a current Artificer player. Okay, I believe there was another thing for us to go to over this way. I hate that. A dark and rough slit behind the lab's paneling leads into the bedrock of the planet. where there are spoopy creatures. Spoopy creatures waiting to devour your suit. Fractured cave. Deep cracks lead into the dark, and a handful of tracks suggest creatures come and go here. Is this the source of the initial breach? Ugh. The fuck is this? Broken panels. The cave and the room have merged here, so it is hard to tell one from the other. Was this cave here before the breach? This cave system must connect to others under the slopes, allowing creatures to come and go. Oh, it's sampleable. I know I am running low on the stuff. I get it. Okay, you gotta dump this in here. Shit. Mucus bubble. Shit. I don't remember if we have these back at base. I think we have these. Do we? Wait, no we don't. Fuck, all this is new. Shit. We don't have anything else. I understand. I get it, we're low on fuel. I get it. We're just going to deal for now. Cave-in feature. The rooms here have been buried in rock, leaving only this shattered passage between them and this cave. Huge slabs of rock have fallen here, erasing the boundary between the lab and the dark cave surrounding it. The acid yellow containers shine brightly in the suit's lamps. Streaks of rust along their sides show they have sealed with time. Security iris. Sand piles against the barrier, sealed by the emergency override when the archaeology was breached. I'm going to leave that other thing over there just to kind of like remind me that we, have a thing. Torch available. Ah! It's time to torch. Oh! Okay, so that used up fuel. Kind of makes sense, in a way. Oh, Jesus. Throat's getting so dry. I know we need fuel. I know. The ceiling of the entry hall is partially collapsed. Its gridwork of girders bent and rusted. Please, for the love of God, give me fuel. The rusted choked hall stretches out in the dark below. Wrecks and rocks lie in the shadows and silt. That goes back up. Fuck. Okay, go back. Okay, we have to sack something. That's 15, so that's not worth. 20. 30. 20. 5. 10. 15. Shit. I can't get rid of this. I don't know what the hell to get rid of. Fuck it. Dumping that in the tank. Buried lab. The entirety of this room is lost beneath layers of sand. The bars of a metal frame, like bent and broken ribs, poke out of the drift. The ceiling here bulges with the weight of the rock above, the walls of sand curling inward. Okay, so we've only got one other way to go. Because the center of this place... Okay, I know I'm low on fuel, I get it. I don't want to sack any more of my samples, dude. Oh, shit, man, come on. Wait, what? Where the fuck am I? Wait, did we already complete our shit? Or no? Oh, fuck. Wait, where am I? Please don't kill me with your crazy pressure stuff. Is this back where I came from? Huh. No. Fuck. I would really like to link up and GTFO. Shit. Light the promise of safety. We're getting Darkest Dungeon now, dude. We may have to just come back. It hurts me to say that. But I need fuel, and I really can't afford to just keep doing this. Link. No, that's the wrong thing. Link. Retrieve me. I get the feeling there was something that we didn't get there. We may just have to go back, and that's that. That's just how it has to be. Exactly, gotta take one for the team. If she starts saying stuff to us, then we know. Okay. Guilty Spark? What is Guilty Spark? No, I want this. From Halo. Ah, I don't know much about Halo. Well, so explain what is Guilty Spark from Halo? We might actually get a look at some of these creepy crawlies down in the ocean. No sketch. Okay. What the fuck? It's like a weird, it's not like a Dobson fly, because Dobson flies are fucking disgusting. Show me the pictures. Snare Veil. Weird. Interesting. Huh. A sphere. Well, I mean, if you were watching One Shot, then you know that circles are, like, way better than squares, because squares are evil and will kill you. What is the structure? It has to be what Monet was looking for. If we can get inside, maybe we can finally understand what happened here. I agree. It would be nice to do that. So what the fuck is this? I don't like that. In the corridor of the archaeology, deep below the slopes, slow masons leave their strange scribblings all over the walls. We need to sample them. Do we? Do we? Okay, so we gotta get back inside the thing. I forgot to bring shit with me, god damn it. Okay, just have to go. Thankfully, we're close by. And we can get back inside fairly easily, I think. I should have taken some samples with me, though, so that I could use them for fuel. Well, the thing is, we already found Monet. Now we're trying to figure out what the fuck she was doing. Because she's in our lab, alive, despite the fact that she took off her dive suit, like her pressure suit, and just free dove over 1,500 meters down. She should have been crushed by the pressure, and now she's turning into plants. So, it's all really confusing, and we're not sure what the fuck is happening. Yeah, exactly. She's an alien for sure now, and I don't know what else to say about that. Okay, so this is the only way we can go. Yeah, exactly. This is some weird Prometheus garbage. Or something. I don't know, man. I'm at a loss. So what have we not explored here? Maybe one of these side rooms? I thought we did explore this one, but maybe not. Like, but then where else is there to go? Aliens are humans too? Did I go in here? Did we go in? There's a door. Security iris. While the main locks are open, the entryway is sealed with a hastily installed security iris. We should be able to cut through. See, for me, it's anything that isn't a green skin must be cleansed, because whenever I play Stellaris, I basically play orcs. Well, that's not true. I've played other races too, but I pretty much always play orcs. The glass door here was violently shattered by the breach, breaking open what looks like a clean room. Rows of chairs and corroded consoles scattered across the tabletops, precisely machined components thick with silt. Yeah, dude, they made a skin for orcs. Basically what I do is, so, orcs in 40k want to fight everyone. So I make them militaristic xenophiles so that they love to be around other races so they can beat the shit out of them. This looks like a suit fabricator, but retooled to build large-scale machinery. Its buckled plates reveal a crimson interior fused by rust. I'm sure there's a mod for 40k. There's gotta be. Like blocky coffins, these containers are still used by Baikel to ship their suits to active facilities. These are empty. Well, there's a, I don't remember if it's a paid DLC, or if it's just like, oh my god, excuse me, a patch that just added the portraits, but there's definitely an orc portrait. I mean, it doesn't look like a 40k space orc, but like, it's a green dude with tusks. And it's kind of humanoid. It's a fucking orc. The Artificers. With them, we could rewrite life as we wish. We could rewrite it to endure. Lucas, to pass us. Or to endure Lucas, to pass us. Okay. Because that was also the one where they added, like, a portrait for dwarves. I don't think there was one for goblins. But they added, like, a bunch of fantasy-looking stuff. A lightweight lab suit sits propped in a chair. Sediment drifts from gashes in the soft material. Hollow sockets in the helmet faceplate. Take the suit, Akari. Stop arguing. Without you, this project is dead anyway. Oki needs to survive. My little Monet, I'm sorry to leave you all alone. Sing a little for your mother. It's so quiet here. Excuse me? The suit is tagged Akari Nomura. I don't understand. How? It's impossible. It's her. It's Monet's mother. This is why Monet came here. She was looking for her mother. She's been here all along, decades. Has Monet been looking for her all this time? God, Monet, why didn't you say something? Anything. I can't... Give me a minute. The lab is ripped apart, plates buckled outwards. Massive coolant pipes breached, twisted metal, now browned with age. A long yellow cylinder, marked with turquoise glyphs, identical to the casing mounted on the back of this suit. Our suit. We have to, like, cut through a bunch of this shit. This is the same cylindrical casing as the one mounted on this suit. The same casing that houses you. Akari was building this, building it from artificers, building it with the machines in the sarcology. She was building you. This is you, one of you at least, a draft, an earlier version, a prototype. Akari is your mother, your creator? Did you know this? Did you know about any of this? No. Then you forgot? You malfunctioned? God, I can't think. We need to go. I don't want to be here anymore, please. Well... What is that about, Al? The glass tubes that once fed coolant into the lab's core are shattered. Glass shards now smoothed by soft currents. I love how she's like, get me the fuck out of here, I don't want to be here anymore. And we're like, oh, well, let's just go examine some more stuff. Coolant pipe. The inside of the pipe bulges with corroded growth. It stretches up towards the surface, and a faint circle of light glows above. So she just wants to get the hell out of here, huh? Can't say I blame her. This is all kinds of fucked up. So now we're like an alien AI? I'm very confused. Now I'm wondering what the hell would have happened if we said, yes, we knew. You know, I can't even imagine what would happen if you tried to, like, have an AI just learn by looking on the internet. It would probably get a bunch... Yeah, I would actually feel bad for a machine intelligence. Having to learn through the internet. It would self-destruct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. She said she wants to leave, and I swear to God, if it's like, oh yeah, you gotta come back, then I'm gonna be annoyed. Wow, being in there fucks our energy and oxygen so bad. Oh, no, that's wrong. I'm also wondering what state Manet's body is in. You're back. I'm done in medical. I disabled the quarantine. It's beautiful in here. Oki? Is that your name? Sure. I like it, despite the history. Listen, I don't know what you are thinking right now, but I wanted to say I trust you. I don't know what you knew about the archaeology, about Baikal's history on this planet. Even your own history. But I do know that you helped me, you protected me, you guided me. I owe you for that, no matter where you came from. You didn't choose to be created like any of us, but this place is your home. You are made from pieces of this ocean, from pieces of its past at least. I'm learning not to be afraid of the past. I'm not afraid of her either, of Manet, if that is her name now. I think she must have found something among those skeletons in the bloom, something truly alien. It changed her. It continues to change her, but perhaps that is what is needed. Change. I found something I think you need to hear. I've been going through the archaeology data, and it wasn't the only facility on this planet. There were 2 other sites, 2 other Baikal facilities. We need to find them. Baikal was up to something on this planet, something bigger than just AI research. I don't want to look away. I want to see what Baikal did here with my own eyes. I've marked the site's coordinates on the dive map. We should be able to cut our way in. This is not just about Manet anymore. It's about Baikal. It's about what happened here. It's about your history and the weight it carries. I'm ready when you are. Alright. I know you've been reading these. The access logs show someone has been in the file system of my terminal, and well, by process of elimination it has to be you. I don't mind. In fact, I suppose I have been writing these entries for an imagined audience anyway. Confessions are maybe just a need to talk. We make a strange trio now. Me, a depressed xenobiologist who can't keep their mouth shut, you, an AI built from the remains of a sentient species, and your sister, Manet, who is now more plant than human. But as far as I can tell, we're the only ones on this planet who have any chance of finding out what happened here. I think I'm starting to understand why Monet called me here. It was because she trusted me to not give up, not to let this go. Let's not disappoint her. Trust a possible orcish AI? Yeah, of course you do. Who else are you going to trust? Alright, let's see. Dive map. Oh. Bicol site, priority. Another Bicol facility sits at the center of the bloom, beneath the rocky shelf. In the archaeology data, it is labeled Site 2. Is there another one around here? One of the Bicol facilities was in this area. It is labeled Site 1. Was this the origin of everything that happened here? That is where we are fucking going. Corn? Hopefully it is not corn. If it's corn, we're fucked. If I get in there and I hear the words blood for the blood god, I'm running. Absolutely running the fuck away. Don't barf your garbage on me, please. Man, it's so bright. Alright. It's so nice right now. Yeah, if I start hearing that shit, I'm out, dude. That's it. I'm out. Now I gotta remember how the fuck this thing works. Down. No. Okay, so down. Right, if I press up, that releases. So then hit this. And now this will give us the boost we need to get the fuck out of here. Nope, fuck. East of here, the current fades, and the strange pillars rise up from the dark of the ocean floors. Large pillar extends down in the murk of the deep water, and probably straight and tall, geometric... Okay. I want to scan you! Patterns of dents in the sand show the path of the feathery creatures that cross the pillar, cross from pillar to pillar, to slow and purposeful loops. Okay, I saw there was a creature out there, and I want to go get it. How did these monoliths form? Perhaps they are cores of harder rock which remained when the rest was eroded away. What the hell is this? Long pale green strands of plant matter entwine in flat blades which trail horizontally between the pillars. These twisted strands are like webs between the pillars. Let's start logging them. Webs! Like spiders! Great! Okay, you weird creature, go the hell away. Feathery creature. A cleverly camouflaged creature, mainly composed of feathery frond-like arms, which it waves rhythmically as it moves. Funny feathered creatures are all around these gardens. Let's start observing their movements. Okay. Feathery creature. Hey, hey, hey! No, this guy. Hey! You're being weird now. Alright, Nick, have a good night, dude. This is what I'd like to say until I heard spiders. The gaps between tendrils are webbed with fine strands, almost invisible to the naked eye. Yeah, it sounds like a horror show, so maybe no. Why does it have to be fucking spiders, dude? I feel like Indiana Jones, but for spiders. Bright pollen. Wait, did I not sample this? I guess not. Shed a feather. Okay. No, not you. Silken plant. These silken strands meet in places and become tangled in one another, forming complex webs that are slow to navigate. The individual thin fibrous strands which make up these pillar bridges are so fine they could almost be silk. Miniature gardens. Some of these pillar tops are very small, but that doesn't seem to stop the petals colonizing them with their bright shapes. So I could... Excuse you? The thing just fucking quacked at me, dude. Okay, this is just pollen. I don't need that. Is this also pollen? No. Silken strands. Pale green strands of plant tendrils from the pillar's garden. It's easy to get confused once you are among these webbed tendrils, navigating between sunken islands of life. It seems that if they're knocked off a surface, these creatures can swim, but very inefficiently. Must be an emergency measure. These trailing plants can be of great length and appear to only grow from the sides of the pillars. How did they form? I have to wonder, like, was the person that wrote this game a biologist or something? Because, just, I don't know, some of this seems like they... I don't know, a lot of this seems like whoever wrote this was observing ecosystems like crazy. I don't know. I mean, maybe I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, because I am not a biologist of any kind. See, the tendrils seem to be avoiding this pillar. In fact, they appear to be avoiding the main shelf of the reef altogether. Observing the underside of these plants, I can see a layer of pores, stomata perhaps, for waste release? I have observed these plants in shades which stretch from bright green to ivory white. Is this an indicator of their age or health? Bet it's seaweed? Probably. Some kind. Feathery, or like some kind of kelp. Feathery creatures that pass along the tendrils seem to be unshakable in their routines, each one carefully doing its rounds. Oh, scan you, dude. It's apparent that matter from the blooms, such as pollen, collects in this creature's feathery arms. Is this intentional? What are you trying, Nick? Wait, is it... Okay, there's nothing I can do over there, alright. This tendril has to stretch a long long distance to bridge these pillars. How do they grow like this without any support? I've noticed these strands don't connect directly to the pillars, but disappear into holes in their sides. What are they connected to then? Which Dark Souls? Which piece? This pillar top is a little sparser than some of the others. Perhaps these more southern pillars have only been recently seeded. Ah! Too small to enter, this hole in the pillar leads deep into the rock. A tail piece left by the inhabitants sits just inside. We could sample it. And we will. Hey! Burrowing creature. When disturbed, the segmented creature shot out of its burrow, ejecting grit and sediment as it swam away. Quite a surprise. Creatures are tricky to catch a glimpse of. Let's see if we can scare up a few more. Okay, if you insist. Oh, we're full. Okay. Shed tail, bright chitinous shards of a tail shell, shed or severed. Yeah, definitely put the periods in there, because otherwise it sounds like you're calling somebody an asshole. Sea silk. Long strands of pale green and white plant matter that twist into broad flat bridges and webs between the pillars of gardens. I've named this sea silk. Though I'm not sure what kind of plant it is. Check my notes back at base. I don't know about that. Where these tendrils meet, the feathery creatures are able to carefully clamber from one to another, leaving behind feathers as they do. Don't care about that. Do not care. Hey! Gardener. Feathery, slow-moving creature that prunes the plants of the pillar gardens, moving between pillars along the silken bridges. Calling these gardeners, they are so attentive and purposeful, I want to know more about them. Despite sitting all the way out here, this pillar is hooked up to others by a long tendril. Alright, Captain, have a good night, dude. Check you later, man. Down here, only a single bridge leads from pillar to pillar, a lone creature braving the currents as it crosses. Feathery pinnuel. A creature has left behind one of its delicate arms here, perhaps in order to escape from a predator. We could take a sample of it. So wait, are you saying, are you going to bed, Nick, or are you saying it's too late for you and like you're stuck with it now? Feathery arm clogged with pollen from the pillar gardens. There we go. Sample candidate, pillar garden. Out away from the other gardens, this wide pillar feels like a calming sanctuary, a blob of green and gold in a sea of blue. It's blight pollen again! I don't want blight pollen. Or bright pollen, whatever the hell it is. A tendril loosely dangles from the pillar, its root half pulled out of the rock. It is pale and bulbous. We could sample it here. Absolutely. That looks like an angelfish. Sort of. Brynmore the Shadow, hello. It's going well. We are scanning some stuff. We just got out of the horrible deep water where there were like weird squid things that were eating our suit. So we're good. We're in non-aggressive animal territory, which is wonderful. One final bridge stretches down to the southernmost pillar. Its strands sway with a rising current. With the rising current. It's getting late and my brain is turning off. Not dying is good. It is extremely good, yes. Despite being so thick, this pillar is cut through with small holes, and on its top, a couple of shell plates catch the light. Are you going to give me little critters that are going to pop out? Yas! Get scanned. Yeah. Creatures scrape away at the pillar surface, carving their burrows into the rock. It is impressive, given the density of the pillars. I believe I saw that we are sampleable here. Yes. A shard of chitin plate left behind by a segmented worm. It's like reeks of bobbit worm territory. I hate it. Germinating garden. These small young petals are starting to open up to the three suns of this planet. This place will be even more beautiful one day. Or will it be full of chitinous worms that everybody's going to hate? Because they're worms and gross. Not to be judgmental or anything, just, you know. New shoot of a petal plant from the pillar garden. I said a piddle plant? It's very different. Okay, we got a long way to go to get back. I don't know, maybe we can scare up some more of those little chitinous dudes? Hey! Okay, no, that's the same one. I hate that they make that noise. Worms that make noise, that's too much. That's just way too much, dude. These tendrils have grown close enough to each other to form a complex tangle of strands between the small pillar. This impossibly thin pillar rises up from the murk like a pencil, its sides marked by the faint strata of geological eons. The gaps between the pillars are a pattern I cannot read, one that speaks of a complex geological history. Oh my god, my mustache is torturing me right now. Tendril holes. These two tendril bridges almost meet before disappearing into the holes in the pillar. Are they rooted to the rock side? This broad pillar is full of rough-looking boreholes. Chitin plates glinting here and there suggest they are burrows. This patch of water is entirely enclosed by webbed tendrils, and thin strands float through the water like lost hairs. I'm still wondering why Monet is, like, changing her form. No, please, scan the weird worm. Thank you. Burrowing creature. That's what I wanted. Observe these creatures have a bright tail lure made from many thin, pointed plates. What is its purpose, I wonder? My guess? It's either mating or for, like, luring prey in. The lower parts of this pillar are marked with narrow holes. Around them, small plates of chitin. Okay, I think we already read that. She's in the process of becoming a sea tomato. What dictates which pillars the tendrils stretch to and from? I'm yet to see a tendril which is only halfway formed. Get scanned, dude. Pillar worm. These long segmented creatures with distinctive bright tails burrow into the hard rock of the pillar to protect themselves. I'm naming these pillar worms. They seem to have burrows all over this place. You got it. Now, oh, chitin plate. We don't need that. Don't need that. Twisted tendrils. These entwined tendrils are flat like blades of kelp and hold themselves taut between the pillar tops. Alright, is there anything that we have doubles of? Well, I don't need this. So, dump it in here. Alright. Let's go grab this. Unless it's just like pollen or some garbage. Silken strands. Wait, do we already have some of that? Yes, we do. Okay, so that can go back in the that can go into the tank. Pillar top is thick with waving petals, each one caked in tiny particles of golden pollen. Between the pillars, bright green webs of twisted tendrils extend, forming thin pathways from garden to garden. The green tendrils that enclose this space seem to calm the currents, creating a pool of still water. The green tendrils don't seem to reach east beyond this point, preferring instead to turn back into the protected waters south of here. Please don't blow me away. Blue haze. Out away from the pillars, the ocean grants a sense of vertigo, fading down to the unknown depths below. This pillar, unlike the others, lacks a garden of its own. Have the plants been cleared, or have they simply not reached this far yet? Vast shape. The light of the system's 3 suns falls into something amber and huge in the east. It is almost... What the hell is that? It is almost like a pale orange cloud. Shifting tentacle. This translucent tentacle doesn't have a fixed shape. Its individual parts instead cycle through developmental phases as they cohere. Oh, good. Please don't eat my stuff. The fuck? Floating colony. Creature. These golden yellow streams of life shift... Wait, this creature is impossibly large. I don't even know how to start logging data on it, but I'll try. Okay, these golden yellow streams of life shift around solid objects, held suspended in the water. Are these bones, rocks, or something else? Or the remnants of the facility we came for. Pulsing barrier. This hard barrier is webbed with pulsing nodes. To gain access, we would need to slice through it somehow. Okay, so this is the point where if we had tried to come this way before getting the torch, we would be screwed. What are we looking at here? This appears to be a huge colonial life form. Is this what remains of the Site 1 facility? Let's cut it open. Bryn, thank you for that follow 9 minutes ago. I'm sorry I didn't catch it earlier. That's not the torch. This is. Behind the barrier, the throbbing interior of the colony is revealed, filled with throngs of Zoids, acting as one. Zoidbergs? Sounds like the pipes in your house. This golden colony is overwhelming. Where to begin? Where to even begin? Thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Zoids. Or Zooids? No, Zooids. It would be Zooids. Make up its shifting interior. It seems that the Zooids are split into specialized functions and forms, from jellyfish-like medusioids to balloon-like bladders of gas. Is it like holding the facility up? Floating colony. I've never seen a colonial creature of this scale or complexity. Can it really be one single a united creature made of ever-shifting processes? Web structure. Beneath the translucent webs of spherical growths, half-digested walls sit suspended like an exploded room frozen in time. The vague shape of the facility's walls is preserved by the colony, the spaces between filled with shifting swarms of life. Let's go up. The interior of this creature is like a golden bubble, the light trapped and refracted by hundreds of pearly orbs strung together. Each Zooid has a function within the colony. Their flow back and forth evidence of some complex process that is impossible to parse. Oh boy. Room fragment. Fragment of a room eaten away into some strange sculpture, hanging in the blue. It's hard to imagine what this place once was. Floating colony. This colony breaks the surface 20 meters above. It must be floating on the surface, its body descending in layers like a living iceberg. Radis colony. I'm just going to wait for what she says first. I'll call this colony Radis. It floats beautifully across the ocean like some impossible vessel. Vast colony of creatures made of thousands of specialized Zooids. It floats freely in the ocean, its upper section breaking the ocean's surface. User K. Clark. The artificers are gardeners, not colonizers. They rewrite genetic code to develop mutualism, to foster life. Sounds a little weird. Okay, that is absurd, Kevin. They are no different to us, adapting their environment so they may survive. No, they are not us. Wall sections. From some angles, the zooid-clogged walls of the facility line up, and I can imagine the past life of this place, with all its human dramas. Gas bladders. Sample candidate. More gas bladders, holding the remains of the lab in place, like the pieces of a torn map, hinting at the history of the long-ruined structure. Gas-filled zooids sampled from a floating colony. The ocean stretches east from here, a blue desert beneath 3 red suns. What might lie out there beyond the range of this suit? The shoals of golden life look solid as I approach, but passing through, they are little more than flurries of petals caught on the current. This piece of the lab floats on gas-filled bladder zooids, keeping it buoyant. Some float in the open water, and the perfect sample candidates. Good lord. Colony bladder. We've already got one of those. Holy shit! God, the yawns have got me really hard. The hollow structure of the colony allows water to flow throughout its core, creating both bulbous corridors and open halls. Clear passage. Why would the colony preserve the rooms of the facility as it consumes them? What bizarre processes are in action here? Holy shit! That's a lot of stuff that just popped up. Eaten away on one side, the remains of this lab are like an open set, a staging ground for the colony's process of sublimation. Oh yeah, dude, let me know how it goes. Sam, he wants to free them. And what do the artificers want, Hannah? Has anyone asked them? Constantine is too arrogant. Just because he discovered the artificers doesn't mean he can decide their fate. Isn't he also the one that buried the other facility? Central Laboratory is almost complete, apart from the large, tree-like growths cutting through its walls. We can't let this continue. We never intended this. That thing they are building. I know. That thing they are building, he says. I'm just going to take a quick peek out here. Well, I say quick, but of course it's probably going to have me meandering all over the goddamn place. Tiny medusioid creatures are budding from the walls here, splitting off from luminous stems to join the flow. I'm probably going to end up having to head back. Or maybe this will circle around? Tentacle corridor. The walls are a flowing mass of tentacles. Some have broken away and are floating freely in the water. We might be able to extract them. Didn't I already get one of these? No. Fuck. Oh, I have 2 of these. Okay, so let's dump this in here. Zooid tentacle sampled from the floating colony. Between the ragged parts of the facility stretched of the facility stretch looping bridges, pumping liquid back and forth from the heart of the colony. There we go. Because I do need to circle back around. Go inside. Nick, your songs are too powerful. Isn't that the Beatles? That's the Beatles, isn't it? Dappled light fills the chamber, passing through its complex branching strands, orbited by swarms of zooids. No? Who is stuck? Who's stuck in the middle with you? Constantine has already left for Site 2. If the facility fails and Site 3 is breached, the oceanic mind can be stopped. What the fuck does that mean? It looks like a biologist laboratory? Must have been the first exploratory base on the planet. They discovered the artificers. They started all of this. These were scientists like me employed by Baikal to study this place. How did it end like this? The minds they were building in their ecology and genetic research they were doing here, they were all working towards something bigger than just one lab. How could they have let this happen? These biologists, our first contact turned into a resource grab. Scan all you can and let's leave this place, or review everything back at the base. It won't be long before the colony eats this place anyway, once and for all. Okay, let's see if we can head back. So I've already scanned everything, I think. Hang on. Back up. I've been going over the data from the facility. I was right to assume that facility was the first base on the planet, the start of all of this. The lead biologist, Constantine Hess, found the artificers here more than 30 years ago. But what is truly incredible is what he discovered they could do. Genetic reprogramming, rewriting RNA and DNA, both in themselves and their local environment. Some Earth cephalopods could rewrite their RNA, but nothing at this scale or detail. The artificers tended to this world, nudging its life into new arrangements. Not only that, but their exoskeletons, they were quantum computers. What? Silicon wafers of incredible complexity and purity, able to simulate the outcomes of their genetic rewriting. The artificers were housed in natural machines, ones that evolved here over millions of years. What the fuck? Their complexity far outstrips our own. We could have learned so much from them. But Baikal wanted the artificers' abilities for themselves. Something happened. Why are there no artificers left? Why the collapse of these sites? We have to visit the other site. The answers are here, or are there. I know it. Oh, fuck me, man. Steelers, Whalers. Yes, you had it exactly right, sir. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, boy. Come on. Okay. analyze... Oh my god, excuse me, all this alien garbage. Hello? Can I not? Hello? Can I not take you off the bar? No! Why can't I do anything with you? Okay. Almost looks like a Myconid from Star Control 3. Almost. Not really, but almost. That's cool. Actually reminds me of one of those weird, like, one of those funky seahorses. Hate that. Hate that. Okay, so it is like these weird web-like strands. Kind of reminds me of like purple worm eggs from D&D. Yeah. Okay, so we did this one. And we want to do this one. What time is it? I'm kind of with you right there, dude. Let's do this. Oh, it's the bloom! Ugh, fuck. I don't want to be in the bloom. Yeah, dude. Apparently, there is like an online art book. I can only imagine that it's fucking awesome. Okay, so right, that's going to give us air. I really love how it really feels like the doodles of a biologist. You know what I mean? No, Lorena Bloom has always been like a little bit of a weirdo to me. I don't know. But that's not the bloom that I'm talking about. Alright, if I recall correctly, we wanted to go down to the left. I think. Maybe it's down to the right? Fuck, I don't remember. Shit. Hello, clam. I'm just passing by, so please don't be mean. I want to say this is the shit that we use to make the clams go crazy. I think this is where we want to go. Is this way? Fuck, am I wrong? I don't remember. I don't remember where we want to go. That'll teach you. Oh, that's right. There was a thing we could bust open. It all circles back, dude. Okay, please stop eating my oxygen, for fuck's sake. Oh, shit. That'll teach you to be curious, Nick. Looking at things, wanting to know more stuff. How could you, sir? Choked with rock and sand, the metal chamber is deathly still. The angular shapes of industrial machinery lie in wait. I hate that. Melted pillars. The pillars which stretch up towards the cavernous roof of the chamber are warped and distorted, barely able to hold the weight. Hulking machines built for industrial use sit covered in a fine layer of sand and growth. This was a place where people worked. Why would they just get rid of all this? Half the rock ceiling above the chamber seems to have come down at once, burying most of the room. I'm not gonna... well, I guess I should look at that, shouldn't I? See, look, that tank. It's filled with microbial growth. What was this place? Be careful. The water will be just as toxic as it is above in the bloom. Okay. I imagine this was once a sealed tube, stretching from floor to ceiling, but now it is just a round, ragged hole in the metal floor. Clogged vent. This dark hole in the floor is spewing out the same microbial clumps as seen in the bloom above. They settle around the vent in layers. I hate this. The side of this vast tank has been corroded away, melted by the incredibly dense volume of microbes inside. I know we can keep going down, but I'd like to get out of this garbage. The shattered tank is dense with microbes. Thick green webs of growth stretch across the suit's visor, turning the lamp light acid green. Huge volumes of rock and sand must have smashed through the layers of facility, burying it and its occupants. Okay, get out of the garbage. Okay, so I actually don't need to descend through that garbage. What are you doing looking at sea worms, dude? Don't do that. Dump that in here. Dump this in here. Crushed room. Whether it was a control room or a storage shed, this room has been totally crushed by the facility's collapse. Wait, was there more space above us? Like, more space for me to look at? Sir, Dr. Hess has just arrived from Site 1. Send him through. Constantine has full clearance. I just want to take a look back up here. No, that was it. Strangely enough, that was it. Well, actually, no, I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. Okay, I just heard what sounded like a heartbeat. Please don't give me the bends. Not that that has anything to do with your heart, necessarily. Right? Because the bends is like clearing nitrogen out of your bloodstream, if I remember right. Yeah. Angular plates piled with sand are all that remains of the rooms and structures that divided up this level of the facility. As under the bends is basically, it's like depth sickness, but it will kill you. The shell of some corroded maintenance vehicle is flooded with sand. Its top, a garden of microbial growths. I want to explore the rest of this place. Bicol containers marked with now dull yellow biohazard tape. What were they shipping into this facility? This is no lab. This is an industrial facility. These containers must have carried some vital resource for its operation. Fuel, perhaps? They contaminated everything with the fuel, and that's why it's all fucked up here. That's my guess, anyway. Did I already read this? Yeah, I did. Well, descending into the garbage we go. Okay, I want to get out of this shit as fast as... Well, we're not going to get out of this shit. Fuck. Or are we? We are. Maybe. There we go. The tank stands in a huge hall, its pipes leading off into the dark. This facility was not built to study this planet, not to change it, but to change it. What was this one? Tank breach. How did this towering metal container split apart so violently? An accident or something more? Ah, gotcha, okay. These wide pipes look to have been connected to the Hall's tank. They must have controlled the outflow or whatever was produced here. Anything else? There's something else back there. These pipes, those tanks. This facility was outputting huge volumes of something into the planet's atmosphere. Maintenance on the South Hall is continuing. I'm seeing a massive pressure spike here. Control? This has to have been a geoengineering project, a way of changing the planet. But looking at this place, it suffered a total collapse. What went wrong? Dense bubble, sample candidate. Plumes of green microbial froth pour from the breached tank. Are these microbes even local to this planet, or did Bicol bring them here? Well, that fucking gross everything is in here. I'm gonna guess that Bicol brought them. Corroded walls. These tank walls were breached with explosive force, the remains corroding away over the decades that followed that violent act. Alright. Have a good night, Nick. The tall passage between the two halls of the facility. This place must have been impressive when it was in full operation. The central tank has held back the sand and rock, but it leans unsettlingly forward into the hall. The fully sealed tank rises up through the center of the hall, its sheer side streaked with growth from the southern tank. Between the overhanging tank and the buckled, twisted walls, a clear corridor leads forward. Crushed by the rockfalls, broken open containers reveal rich patches of microbial growth, like miniature gardens. A row of corroded consoles wired up to an umbilical connection which has been cut away. overgrown suit. A sand-dusted chair props up the remains of a suit, the faceplate clouded with rich green growth. Control? I'm slicing it before it cascades. Clear the reactor chamber. The bacterial outflow is about to hit end. So wait, is the bacteria supposed to, like, is that what they were running their engines on? Or their reactors? Seems like a really terrible idea of what you're, if you're coming here for, like, I don't know. The connection between this console and the tank is sliced clean through. Is this what stopped it from breaching? A rising wall of sand leans heavily against the tank, bearing tons of equipment and who knows what else beneath its slopes. Access hatch. A large access hatch to the floor above lies open, its ladder corroded into a twisted, rusty spine. Yes, sir. Atmosphere density is increasing ahead of schedule. Please inform the board. They will be pleased. Were they just trying to turn this place into like a colonizable planet? The rows of sand-choked desks, rusted consoles, and dim monitors make it clear this was the facility's control room. Preserved by the low flow of water inside the control room, the smoothed-out shapes of human bones are scattered across the floor. So this is different. The other places haven't had human bones, if I remember right. No, no. Oh god, the tank is breached. They're artificers. I didn't mean... End. Here, this is where they controlled this place once. They were changing this planet, manipulating it. These vast tanks of engineered microbes were their tools. Algae changed the atmosphere of Earth billions of years ago. These creatures were meant to do the same. But by accident or sabotage, this containment was breached. These idiots, they could have killed every last species on this planet. Eaten up in a global bloom. Somehow the reef survived. Somehow the stalks held on. Tried to revert our mistake. Humans don't deserve this planet. We didn't deserve to find life. I've seen enough. Scan what's left and I'll take a look back at base. Let's find a way out of here. You got it, dude. The control room's evacuation hatch hangs open, piles of rock and sand all around. Constantine, where do you... Step away from the console. I'm sorry. Despite the cave-ins, this console is surprisingly pristine, a cup sitting beside one of the monitors where it was placed decades before. We are doing the Artificers a favor. Despite all their abilities, they couldn't manifest this kind of planetary change. That's a dangerous way to look at things, dude. That's a very dangerous way to look at things. Yeah, we're doing you a favor by fucking up the planet that you... Yeah, okay. But it just... yeah. Okay, well, should I go up first? You know what, let's go up first. Let's see where that actually goes. Hopefully it's not back into the bloom. I want to go down into these tanks. What the fuck is this? This is why no one escaped the facility. This tunnel is sealed. The control room escape route is cut off. Sealed at both ends, this corridor is pristinely preserved, the Baikal decals still visible on the gleaming walls. A second seal locks off the corridor at the other end. They made sure no one would escape. That is just... Jesus Christ. This is why I don't trust corporate America, dude. The tunnel leads out into a small shelf overlooking a rift, discreetly cut into the rock. But it's not, like, full of garbage? Northern Rift. Back in the open water, the current at this end of the rift softly pushes against the suit. Rift wall. Above, the steep rift wall meets the shelf of the bloom. Bloom shelf. To the north, green clouds rise up, the familiar sight of the bloom that surrounds this shelf and the facility below it. Behind the pillars, the reef's strong currents are lessened, making a small sheltered stretch of water on this side of the rift. Huh. Maybe the AI that they created, like, rebelled against them or something? I don't know. Online again? Good, we have a lot to talk about. I've been digging through what we discovered at the facility. What they did there, it's terrible. They could have wiped out life on this planet. Baikal should have known better than to mess with the entire planet's ecosystem. The failure of the facility was catastrophic. The bloom dominated half of the planet. As far as I can tell, it wiped out the artificers. Think about those skeletons in the bloom. But the rest of the planetary ecosystem reacted somehow, resisted, pushed the bloom back. Based on what we found at Site 1, the artificers must have had a role in this. Their final act? An attempt to prepare this world for the catastrophe of Baikal Unleashed. They died for this planet, and you are all that survives of them. Well, perhaps not all. I keep seeing the same thing mentioned in the data, the same term appearing in fragments. The Oceanic Mind. As far as Baikal were concerned, you were just the beginning, the first mind. The artificers were the key inscrutable creatures with a quiet power. Able to simulate, predict, then able to change. They could rewrite life itself. For Baikal, the opportunity to provide this provided was clear. While the artificers were like gardeners, caretakers of this world, Baikal imagined something else. An oceanic mind providing total control of the ecosystem, able to enact their will. That's what they were building when the colony collapsed, and it is still out there. In the deep, powered by the heat of hydrothermal vents, the oceanic mind sleeps. I want to see it for myself. We have to know how this all ended. I've marked the approximate location on the map, way out to the north, deep in the abyss. Let me know when you are ready to see this through. Oh, fuck. I was born on Earth. Born in the city of Ponta Delgada, out in the Atlantic, among the turquoise waters and green slopes of the Azores. My father was studying the dying waters, chasing the last known pod of sperm whales to record a final fading image of their impossible spatial language before it was lost forever. My mother was a journalist, writing a book on citizen scientists that never found a publisher. We lived there, and all along the Atlantic coast of Europe for almost a decade before life became impossible, the storms tearing into the tidal walls, flooding city after city, clothes twisted in foaming water. We joined the latest waves of refugees, found ourselves beside the Thames, resettled in London. From that privileged viewpoint, I watched our oceans die, and then my parents too. And at some point, once I had left that sad gray planet behind on a string of Baikal contracts, I forgot that turquoise water ever existed. You were born here, and maybe here things can be different. I don't understand. So what does it do? Wait, do we have any samples to analyze? No. Wait. Why am I able to interact with life support? I don't know, that seems a little freaky, right? Anyway, it's late. I'm going to go to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed having you all here and having a nice conversation while I play this game and get a little freaked out. Tomorrow I'm going to be back with some Stone Shard, and then Wednesday I'm going to be back with Al and Warlock and Peach, and we're going to be playing some Divinity Original Sin around 6 o'clock my time, which is would have been about 5 hours ago. 5 hours? Yeah, roughly 5 hours. And then Sunday I will be back with some more Horizon Zero Dawn, and then some Dark Souls with Al and Moon. But for now, I'll check you out later. Have a good night, everyone. I will check you later, or see you. You know, I'm repeating myself. Anyway, have a good night. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.